To uradio sam opet. Svi oko mene pitaju me dokle. Imam dar, ali kao da sam proklet. Svi oko mene kažu imam problem, a ja imam merak. Opet ispao sam seljak. Imam merak, znaš da imam merak. I ne znam zašto ga preteram. Imam merak. Opet ispao sam seljak. Imam merak, znaš da imam merak. 20 puta mnogo, to je merak. Pijem sve do zore, kući još je rano. Mi takvi smo dole, razumi me malo. Imam merak, znaš da imam merak. Svi tanjire lome, prštigam padano. U ovom zaseko je Pjotr Sava stanu. Ajmo, i prođi sa mnom tamnom stranom. Šta se pije?
Šta su te pare, za muziku?
Malo za bakšiša za danas.
To uradio sam opet. Što ću kući kada kući nemam kome. Zato ajde sipi dok brod ne potone. Ja sam takav, šta ću kad je život moment. To je merak. Opet ispao sam seljak. Merak, znaš da imam merak. 20 puta mnogo, nema merak. Pijem sve do zore, kući još je rano. Mi takvi smo dole, razumi me malo. Imam merak, znaš da imam merak. Svi tanjire lome, prštigam padano. U ovom zna se ko je, to ni soprano. Ajmo, prođi sa mnom tabak malo. Šta se pije?
Against Jews. It's very scary.
Znaš ti da se neko sprema ceo život za ovo?
Wonderful, a new child soldier meets subscriber.
Što me tako uradi, kad me merak udari. Brzo daj mi nešto puta 3, vidiš kad će brata me udavi. Ne mogu je obuzdati, malo bosto kao Dukati. Evo pare zlato Dukati, znaš do jutra dobro ćeš se udati. Malo mi čaše vodo stakla, lomi ritam rakataka.
Welcome in, early heads. Welcome in, early heads. Thank you, Tito, for the sub. We're starting a little bit early today, so it's very nice to see you in these fine numbers. You beautiful, beautiful people. Enjoy the new Tsobi album before we start in a couple of minutes. Thank you very much.
Grlim kuma, ljubim brata. Kad ne mere kuvati, masički ste mi ubavi. Brzo daj mi nešto puta 3, idemo od jutra pa do sutra svi. Ne mogu je obuzdati, malo bosto kao Dukati. Evo pare zlato Dukati, znaš do jutra dobro ćeš se udati. Malo mi čaše vodo stakla, lomi ritam rakataka. Sve okej, zna ti si znajka, halal mala što si takva. Lomi čaše vodo stakla, lomi ritam rakataka. Sve okej, zna bit ćeš majka, grlim kuma, ljubim brata.
Ajde!
ritam rakata kad ceo kraj zna ti si snajka. Halal mala što si takva, omiča se pod ostakla. Lomi ritam rakata kad ceo kraj zna bit ćeš majka. Grlim kuma ljubim brata, omiča se pod ostakla.
Ajde.
Grlim kuma ljubim brata.
The new Tsobi album has been absolutely absurdly good. You can find them all on this channel called Basivity Digital, okay? Right here. The new album is pretty much all of the songs with the same style of thumbnail. Tsobi is basically if you had a Balkan DJ Khaled that actually made good music and didn't only produce but also rap for himself. So I hope you enjoy it. I really fuck with Tsobi. I always liked him. He's kind of like the guy in the background of a lot of Balkan music. Sometimes in the foreground, sometimes in the background. Really, really chill dude. Really smart dude. Really innovative dude. Because he doesn't just, copy Western styles. He takes Western music, Eastern music, and proper Balkan music and turns it into a very interesting combo, so to say. How you guys doing this fine morning, evening / afternoon? It is very nice to see you all. Today we are starting very early. Very, very early indeed. I don't think we've ever started this early. It's because I have other 700 obligations. This time, just like back on Tuesday, ones relating to the D program. So we're gonna finish pretty much in exactly 3 hours and 45 minutes. It's still gonna be a 4-hour stream, but I wanted to make sure you guys get the 4 hours. That is why we are starting a little bit early on. What the hell on? Ooh. It is hot outside like a motherfucker. I literally went to get some zins and I almost died. For you guys, it's probably very late at night or very early in the morning. So thank you very much for tuning in. And it is going to be a fine stream, ladies, gentlemen, and NBs. We're going to talk about a lot of different CHUD meltdowns over the ZOHRAN victory. Afterwards, we're going to do an Iran wrap-up. We're going to talk about the meltdown of Globehead. Twitter, we're going to watch the Joe Rogan Bernie interview. That's going to be very fun. Then we're going to watch a Hakeem video, a Second Thought video, and a Big Joel video. So it's going to be nice. Hugo, please help me. I found out my first kiss as a Zionist as an adult. That's fine. I mean, you will be able to say that you fucked a Zionist, but, in a good way. Though the Zionists will be able to say the same thing about you. So it's a lose-lose. Yeah, you're fucked. You're fine. Who gives a shit? I think everyone at some point has kissed or had intercourse with someone who was relatively problematic. The main point is you don't stay with them in a relationship, okay? That's the main thing. One-night stands are fine as long as you leave after you figure out they're weird as shit. Same in the States, only 8 a.m. and already 80 fucking Fahrenheit, going to get almost 100 Fahrenheit today. Yeah, we're getting cooked, literally, chat. Chat is getting cooked, literally. Anyways, let me see if I posted everywhere. Did I post here? Yes, I posted here. You know what the strategy is. You like this, you retweet this, and I delete it afterwards so it doesn't fuck with your algorithm. We are very close to the end of the month, so as always, big ups to everyone who chooses to click that beautiful, beautiful subscribe button. You heard what we're going to be doing today, so let's get right into it. If any of you have any interesting updates, please give it to me. Tomorrow I'm going for 2 days to the center of this country for another baptism. It's going to be fun. It's like a lawyer guy. He's got money, so it's going to be a big baptism thing. It's, lots of people, music, drinks, food. It's going to be quite nice. I'm going to be staying 1 day before that at his house. That's going to be lovely. He has a huge house. So I'll see how the proper bourgeoisie lives with real sellout jobs compared to my non-sellout job of being a Twitch streamer, podcaster, and content creator. Extravagance, okay? So strap in. Let's start out with the hot takes. First one, I wanna immediately get to the Bernie Sanders interaction with Zohran's victory, and we'll take it from there. Thank you, 1988, for your 5th gift sub. Thank you very much, comrade. That's what I'm fucking talking about, baby. More child soldiers for the cause, motherfucker.
Senator Bernie Sanders is an independent in Vermont. He endorsed Zohran Mamdani for mayor. In a new op-ed for The Guardian, he asked, quote, will the Democrats learn from Zohran Mamdani's victory? And he joins me now. Senator, what's your reaction to the big upset last night?
Enthusiastic. It was one of the great political victories in modern history.
Yeah!
Zohran ran a brilliant campaign. And I think the most significant part of his campaign, and I, Chris, would not compare it to Obama or to Clinton. What Zohran understood is that in order to win, you got to be more than charismatic, and he is. You got to be more than smart, which he is. You got to build a strong grassroots movement around a progressive agenda. He had thousands and thousands of people knocking on doors because they were excited about his message.
Bravo. Bernie is doing some very good anti-consent manufacturing here. Yesterday, we did a lot of coverage of how the liberals are trying to spin this. The main spin liberals are doing is this man did not win because he's a democratic socialist. He did not win because he has more radical policies and ideas in mind. He did not win because he spoke to the working classes of New York City. No, he won because he did really, really good logistics and because he used the internet. That was the whole pitch. Like, please don't focus on the fact that he was unapologetic about Palestine, about his anti-Zionism, about his democratic socialist beliefs, about the fact that he is a secular Muslim dude, etc., etc. Please ignore all of those factors and hyper-focus on the fact that he was really good when it comes to utilizing social media and making sure that people knock on doors, right? That's the consent manufacturing from the liberals when it comes to this whole thing. The consent manufacturing when it comes to the reactionaries on this whole thing, the classic reactionaries is pretty much he is an insane barbarian Muslim that will do 9/11 Part 7. It will install Shakira law in the center of Manhattan, and that everything is going to be fucking awful. Thank you, Officer Gabin.
My girlfriend broke up with me, so I stole her wheelchair. Guess who came crawling back? Smiling face with hearts emoji.
Smiling face with hearts emoji. Thank you for the $3, Gabin. This is why I love TTS. You guys can say unhinged things. And in return, I get $3 to $5. Isn't that fucking hilarious? What's up, Gabin? Hope you're doing good. And hope you didn't give her that wheelchair back, okay? She'll keep crawling back every single time. So yes, those are the two sides of consent manufacturing. One are saying that this is a scary foreigner man who will put your wife in a burqa, and the other one is basically saying, do not consider his success a result of a socialist policy, of to an extent radical policy when it comes to the context of the United States. His principled stance on imperialism, especially the genocide over in Gaza, and his completely grassroots organized movement that did not accept any super PAC money and that focused on meeting working class people where they're at, not just quite literally physically, but when it comes to the ideology and the pitch that he was proposing. The main reason why establishment Democrats are doing that specific type of consent manufacturing is because they do not want this to have any sort of influence on the future of the Democratic Party as a whole. And I, to an extent, welcome that because I do not care. I can't wait to take a flight in 10 years and piss on the grave of the Democratic Party, wherever it may be in Washington, D.C. That is, if they let me into the country in the first place. If they want to self-sabotage and turn themselves into a irrelevant circle jerk party of ancient troglodyte vampires, let them do it. I will sit in the background. You, chat, will sit in the background, and we will clap and maybe masturbate a little bit because that's kind of hot. Okay, so yeah, The main reason I went on this particular rant is because Bernie Sanders is directly trying to counter-argue that very specific point. He's saying, sure, he did use social media very successfully. Yes, sure, they did knock on a lot of doors. Yes, sure, the logistics of his movement were much better than anyone else's. Yes, he's a very good-looking, charismatic guy. But none of that would have gotten him elected if he was not proposing these working-class focused policies and ideological standpoints. So it's a direct hit against the other type of consent that libs are trying to build up, which, kudos to this old man.
And his message said, you know what? In a time of unprecedented income and wealth inequality, we are going to ask the richest people in New York City to start paying their fair share of taxes. So among other things, we can address the major crisis facing New York and America, by the way, is soaring housing costs. They're going to freeze rent at a time when families can't afford decent quality food. He's talking about helping to create publicly funded growth.
Yeah, what Bernie is doing right now is very good praxis. He is unironically mentioning the pitch that establishment Democrats are using in order to lower attention on the fact that Zohran won because of his policies and move it over to his very successful campaigning and taking it back to his policies and making sure that everyone understands that the reason he won is because of his policies, his viewpoints, and his principal stance on all of these things. Okie dokie, okie dokie.
Grocery stores so that kids can get food that's affordable, making buses free. He's giving people a positive agenda, not just going after Trump, but giving something that people can believe in, an analysis which reflects their reality. So I thought it was a great campaign, and I look forward to continue to work with him.
One thing I think is that
this is why I love this chat. No snark, just love and explanations. Yeah, we literally maybe ban a person every 2 weeks. Unironically, it's extremely chill here, and because we're trying to we're trying to educate people into elevating their class consciousness into a broader understanding of their predicament, but more importantly, a greater understanding about a greater understanding of how to get out of said predicament, which is only and exclusively organizing, yes, or propagandizing or committing yourself to the best of your abilities to the broader cause, etc., etc. So nobody here in chat is there because they want to sound like a bigger and better socialist than you, or to prove that you are wrong and they are right, or they're more pure than you, etc., etc. We do not give a flying fuck. Sure, we'll sometimes joke around, call each other fucking doo-doo heads and idiots and so on, but that as well comes out of the best intention. We're here to grow. We're here to quote-unquote radicalize ourselves. We are not calling that a negative term. And very often also here just to, enjoy a little bit of entertainment and point and laugh at the CHUD subhumans the way we love to do. So yeah,
Wonderful.
I own a
new
car,
child
so I'm the worst at
soldier.
socialism. There you go. Everybody attack the car driver, okay? I also own a car, a very fast car. That means I'm worse. That the slower your car, the better you are at socialism. And then if you don't own a car, you are the most socialistic. But the faster your car, the less socialistic you are, okay? Thank you, Eagle M16, for the 14-month streak, you beautiful son of a bitch. That is impressive. Also, I love that name, man. I want to shoot a gun the second I see you. Did you see the ZOHRAN was a rapper 6 years ago? It's called Nani. Yeah, we watched it plenty of times in the stream. It's very funny. I just, every time I read the word rapper, it always looks like raper. So I read it like, did you see that ZOHRAN was a raper 6 years ago? It was like, who the fuck is this person in my chat? I own 3 slow cars. Oh, that's how you... Okay, that is reactionary as fuck. That is reactionary as fuck. No, that is not reactionary. That is revisionist. That is revisionist. Because as we all know, Engels himself said that one slow car is an acceptable way for a socialist to transport themselves. But you're doing revisionism. You're saying no to fast cars, but you're buying multiple slow cars. And you're saying, they never said anything about multiple slow cars. This is revisionism. It is not necessarily reactionary, but it is revisionism. I don't own a car. I usually walk, and in the dummy, I always come to the destination extremely sweaty. Deodorant. It is a nice invention.
Curious what you think of this theory. I think one thing that happens in campaigns...
Yeah, deodorant doesn't stop you from sweating. You just don't stink when you sweat. Stinky when I'm sweaty, and I'm sweaty when I'm stinky. Who remembers that song? Nobody? Okay, just me.
People get risk averse, the more sort of backing they have. And so they don't want to screw it up. And the more that you're coming from a position of like, no one expects you to win, it does also give you latitude to actually go out and try stuff. Like, even whether that's a new idea, is like, we're going to try publicly funded grocery stores. Like, no one else is saying that. But I do think there's an appetite for risk or trying new things that was so palpable in this campaign that seems to me...
Yeah, my guy is describing material conditions. The material conditions of establishment politicians, aka politicians that have either previously been elected or have been a crucial part of the executive or even supportive middle management of said political parties. What are their material conditions? Their salary equals how much money multimillionaires and billionaires put into their pockets. Okay, that is their actual salary giver, and their salary giver is not going to be putting said salary into their pockets if they're introducing progressive class conscious rhetoric to the playing field. Therefore, they are materially incentivized to never do that because it goes against their money stream, etc., etc. So yeah, he's right. He's just, using normie terminology here.
Also really important.
That's why the only way someone, at least in the United States of America, can truly dedicate themselves to a campaign that they believe in, which is not completely manipulated and corrupted by said material conditions, said political status quo, are politicians which fund their campaigns almost exclusively through the masses. Politicians that literally operate like Twitch streamers. They get subscribers, sometimes they get gifters, but it's not like there's somebody, there all the time gifting 50 subs, 50 subs, 50 subs, 50 subs, 50 subs. It's usually 5 subs, 3 subs, personally subscribe, etc., etc. So they don't owe anything to one particular gifter. They don't have to listen to one particular gifter. They are independent. Okay? TLDR, that is why the future of any sort of progressive America that is to an extent achieved through electoralism must be one in which independence, by that I mean people who do not take money from super PACs or donors above a particular size, should be massively supported because they are the least sus. And the ones that take money from large super PACs or billionaires should be defined as extremely sus. It should be stigmatized, okay? There should be a massive, massive, massive stigma around politicians that get money from billionaires, and they should be rightfully defined as people without sound mind or body because they don't work for themselves. They are just a third hand, third arm of the American capitalist class and other individual industries, etc., etc. So if we want to see more people like ZOHRAN in the United States, we got to stigmatize the other motherfuckers. We got to call them out for being sellout, corrupt little motherfucking bitches and support these dudes as much as possible. Both through, electoralism, to be the liberal in the room, and through finances and through organizing, etc., etc., and then push the needle a little bit by a little bit. My mornings are so boring thanks to streaming, or at least I could do. Oh, there's everyone's favorite social chauvinist. What's up? Zoran Mamdanovic. Yeah, he is Zoran, though. He is Zoran. Zoran, by the way, is a very classic Yugoslav name. I found that really cute. It means dawn, you know? A man of the dawn, like a rising man. It's quite lovely that across our beautiful mundi, across our beautiful planet, there are names that repeat even in cultures that one would not consider similar, which would be stupid to say. All cultures are similar. All cultures exist because other cultures exist, because they flow into each other, learn from each other, and develop new ways to perceive civil or social life. It's like this. The individual does not exist without the community. Same as the community does not exist without the individual. Those exist in constant duality. Okay? You would not need a word for an individual if community did not exist. You will not need a word for community if an individual did not exist. Okay? Interwoven. Don't be idiots.
But it's not just, he sat up at night, I think, this is, a risky idea, but we'll do it.
No, right.
I think he is prepared, and this is the point. Look, what is the Democratic Party today, Chris? It is, I don't think people can argue with us. It is funded by very wealthy people. It is run by inside the Beltway consultants who really have very little clue about what's going on in the real world. And that is why I think, sadly, Kamala Harris lost an election that she should have won. It is a party which is not going to take on powerful special interests because of fundraising fears. And it certainly has turned its back on working people. And Zohran did all of that. He changed all of that about. And the question is, will the Democratic leadership learn from his campaign? I doubt it.
He changed the material conditions. That's why we keep fucking harping on this. Even if some member of the Democratic Party is exceptionally well-intentioned, but he is a part of the establishment, and his political career is quite literally and exclusively funded by super PACs, millionaires, billionaires, just big money, etc., etc. Nobody's going to go against their bag. It's inhuman. It's okay. Marx says that. This is Marxian. Nobody goes against their bag, okay? Nobody goes against their bag. That's why it is on us to create a system which would allow people who want to present progressive ideas and so on to be able to do it by doing, gross funding, etc., and not having to rely on millionaires, blah, 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 blah. But guess who's going to lobby against that exact thing? Guess who? Those very same billionaire and super PAC lobbies, right? And they're going to try and make sure that every single candidate that did something successful, who ran a grassroots campaign, to be painted in the worst of lights, to be shredded like a snake shreds its skin, and to be called every racial slur under the sun, usually.
I think they would rather go down with the Titanic than give up the fact that they are captains of the boat. But it doesn't really matter what they think. What Zohran's campaign showed is that people are prepared to stand up and fight for change. We're seeing that in the Fighting Oligarchy talk. We saw it last week. Millions of people came out to the No King rally. People understand that our political and economic system is broken, that the rich get richer and millions of people are struggling to put food on the table. They understand the two parties today are not responding to their needs. They want something.
Read Combat Liberalism. Yeah. You're very smart, bro. You're very smart. Hope your basement smells really nice.
And I think Zohran touched on that reality.
I think some people may know this part of your bio, but some may not, which is that you were a congressman for Vermont, the at-large. There's one district. You are obviously a U.S. senator. Before that, you were a mayor in Burlington. And I'm curious, you were a socialist mayor. There's not a ton of them. We don't have a really long list of socialist mayors in America. So from one former socialist mayor to a man who may be a socialist mayor. One of the things I think about that job, whatever size municipality you're governing is, you really got to deliver for people. Like, it's not, you're not taking votes, right? So people are going to see very tangibly, like, is this working or not? And I'm curious how you think about what advice you would offer from that perspective, which is very different than being a senator or legislator.
Well, I just spoke to ZOHRAN a little while ago, and I had some thoughts about it's going to be a very hard job. I mean, running any big city in America today with all of the crises that municipalities are facing is just not easy. And he's going to have to think long and hard about how you can run that city in a way that really works well for working people. But what I did as mayor of Burlington, and I was reelected 3 times, taking on Democrats and Republicans, is we focused on the basic issues. I kept property taxes as low as I could. I was conscious of the fact a lot of people can't afford higher taxes. We paved the streets, the sidewalks. We paid attention to working class and low income areas that had been ignored for years. We started an after-school program. We started a child care program. We started a teen center for kids, which people still remember. We built affordable housing, started new ideas, community land trust for housing, which is now being done literally all over the world. It was started in Burlington, Vermont. So your point is we also spoke out on national issues, and we had a foreign policy. People joke, Burlington had a foreign policy. We could do it, but you can't do that unless you are paying attention to the day-to-day needs of working class people. So I remember one guy wrote, somebody said,
which is literally materially de-incentivized in the Democratic Party, in the Republican Party, and generally the American or any sort of other capitalist, quote-unquote, electoral democratic system, if you want to call it democratic, which is already cringe by in itself, but, let's call it that. The reasons are all the ones that I've previously mentioned. There is no material stimulus towards political movement or even individuals that are a part of a larger political movement or even independents when they want to present an alternative to whatever the current status quo is. The only time we even receive large-scale reforms, which is, capitalism protecting itself from a downward spiral, is when the status quo is put against the wall. And it gives us some crumbs so that it doesn't completely fall apart because we're about to put a bullet in its head, right? It always has to be forced out of them. It always has to be forced out of them. It always has to be forced out of them. Thank you, Hella Bachlaw, for the 2 months. Thank you very much, my friend. You're one Hella Bachlaw.
Your mayor is a socialist. What do you think about that? The guy says, I really don't know, but he is getting the streets paved.
Yes, that's exactly. It all starts from there at every level of politics. Senator Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders.
Good evening.
Let's see what Lib talk show hosts have to say about ZOHRAN winning. This should be interesting. This is a very useful, fun tool, ZOHRAN's victory and how everybody's viewing it and how everybody's analyzing it. It's a very useful tool to kind of measure the temperature of the wider American masses, I guess, or at least their main talking heads.
Everybody, I'm Seth Meyers. This is Late Night. We hope you're doing well. And now, if you don't mind, we're going to get to the news. President Trump attended a state dinner yesterday in the Netherlands, but they did have to pull a few tricks to get him there.
New York Times not handling it well. Oh my God! Please send me a link to anything New York Times related, but like without the paywall, please. I would love to check that shit out. Is Colbert eating shit? Yeah, he always eats shit. Like, why would he change his diet now?
A leaked Pentagon report suggests that Saturday's airstrikes against Iran set the country's nuclear program back by only several months, which doesn't seem that long until you remember that Trump has only been president for several months. That's right. A leaked Pentagon assessment suggests that Saturday's U.S. airstrikes against Iranian nuclear sites were not as effective as initially reported. Well, we always knew Hegseth wasn't great with targets. The guy
oh my God, boomer humor is fucking crazy, dude. Boomer humor is absurd. Holy shit. That was fucking hilarious, dude. I'm gonna pass out laughing. No. Now, this is humor, for example.
My mommy said no more skibidi toilets, so I left a poo-poo in her chocolate cake. This is Ohio, home of the Gritty and Rizzlers.
Are you fucking serious, my guy? How about you fuck off? I'll just read your top shit. I don't care. You're fucking irrelevant. People whose penises no longer work are the only people that read your shit. Mamdani's success spotlights a deepening rupture among U.S. Jews. While Zohran Mamdani won over some Jewish supporters, other Jewish Democrats suggested that concerns about their community's safety, because he's a Muslim, because he's a brown Muslim, are being dismissed in a movement and a city they helped build against the Muslims. Because that's the only reason, that is the only reason why that would be a thing in any world. So thank you, very particular people from New York that are Islamophobic, for saying it out loud. At what point did Zohran say or do anything that would insinuate that Jews in New York should not feel welcome, loved, respected, and treated equally to everyone else in that city? Oh, at no point, right? At no point? Well, Hugo, you are stupid. You do not understand. Zohran existing in a space is already anti-Semitic, okay? Zohran Mamdani, huh? Do you remember 9/11? Wake up, Joe Biden. Joe Biden, 9/11. Wake up, Joe Biden. Wake up, 9/11. Zohran Mamdani, 9/11. Wake up, Joe Biden. Yes, apparently, according to the New York Times, Jews of New York are afraid of Zohran for reasons. And if Zohran has never stated anything anti-Semitic in his life, which he obviously hasn't, hell, he very actively and openly talks about the need to protect people from anti-Semitism correctly, right? So if none of those things are on the table, the only reason they might be afraid is because they're racist, Islamophobic, dumb fucking cunts. And it doesn't matter if you're a racist, Islamophobic, dumb cunt and you're Jewish, or you're Mexican, or you're French, or you're black, or you're fucking space chicken alien, okay? Racist cunts and Islamophobic cunts and anti-Semitic cunts, of course, and all sorts of cunts exist among every group of people on planet Earth. But only here is that now being utilized against a very decent candidate running for the mayoral office because he happens to have the genetic propensity towards anti-Semitism, which we all know is very true and develops the second you pray once towards Mecca. Okay, I hope we all understand why Jews in New York should be extra scared of this particular gentleman. If you would like to support our obviously anti-Semitic show here on YugopnikTwitch, please do consider subscribing or oiling my evil, pro-Islam, jihadi-loving Twitch stream for $6 a month for free through Prime, or by gifting to your fellow apparently crazy jihadi child soldiers. And I would be very grateful in return, and my mom will be very happy with me because she will be able to tell all the neighbors in our cul-de-sac, my son is doing the great jihadist fight, okay? Famous Balkan people for always protecting the Ottoman Empire, right? So yeah, subscribe. No, bro, you don't get it, bro. It's about religion, bro. It has been going for decades, bro. Please, bro. Jihad, the subscribe button is what I'm saying. The brainwashing goes so deep, and the top towing has been happening for such a long time that we have a group of drama queens with SDE energy. Absolutely, Nikos. Never change. He said he's pro-Palestine, which obviously means he is Hamas and supports genociding Jews. 100%. 100%. He also likes to listen to Shakira, which is also, you know, misogynist and anti-Semitic. Okay? The New York Times says that the Jewish people from New York don't have good taste in music. They don't want Shakira law. Disgusting. 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 Disgusting.
That's the guy.
But yeah, I'm done. Sorry for the rant. Jesus Christ. Go jihad on the subscribe button.
We said we got to get him. We got to get him in charge of the military. While speaking to reporters yesterday aboard Air Force One, President Trump said he opposes the idea of regime change in Iran and added, quote, "I'd like to see everything calm down as quickly as possible." Bro, is this you?
They don't know what the they're doing. Do you understand that?
Whoa, be the change you wish to see in the world. You gotta chill out. Just take a deep breath and pretend you're on trial.
Oh my God. You can't spin that not being exceptionally cool, okay? The libs just never learn. He did an objectively cool thing, okay? Now you need to ignore that, okay? When your opponent does something very cool, you don't bring it up on your talk show. You just pretend they didn't do it. But whatever.
Yesterday was New York City's Democratic mayoral primary, and former Governor Andrew Cuomo conceded to State Assemblyman Zohran Mamdani.
Get it, guys? Zohran didn't win. The Italian man conceded.
On the bright side for Cuomo, at least he doesn't have to move to New York City. During his concession speech, Cuomo said that Mamdani put together a great campaign and added, quote, "He touched young people and inspired them and got them to come out and vote. Cuomo's mistake was waiting until after he was elected to touch young people."
3 out of 10.
Like somebody left a door open.
Are there humans that actually watch this? 43,000 in 4 hours, so I guess yes.
The New York Times published a report this week about a facility that Amazon is building in Indiana to develop an artificial intelligence system that matches the human brain.
Dude, the NSA got me. I literally never watched you before. I just watched one video on your channel, and as I started Twitch, you're the first one I see. That's crazy. I'm usually hidden in the depths of Twitch, okay? Unhinged Balkan anti-imperialist commie guy that wears a fucking ski mask is not usually what Twitch wants to put on the forefront. But I'm glad you're here, baby! Yee, motherfucking welcome, brother, sister, or NB. Very welcome to stay.
So yeah, it'll still say irregardless. ESPN has announced that it's renewed.
Okay, so absolutely no commentary on Zohran, just that Cuomo lost, and that's funny. Fantastic. I mean, I know you have to keep the desk there so that we know that you have absolutely nothing going on underneath the waist. Guy. Late night. Motherfucking late night. Weird name, late night. Oh, jebote kurac. Okay, let's.
So it's the affluent.
More CHUD meltdown. Let's go. What you mean I enjoy the show? No, he's cute. Whatever. Enjoy your thing. I'm a hater. I'm a professionale hater.
Liberals that are striking again, and current Mayor Eric Adams is not having any of these far-out proposals.
He's a snake oil salesman.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, give me all that snake oil and put it in every single crevice of my body. If Zohran is selling any of his snake oil, oh Jesus Christ. I mean, what does that tell us about you, my friend? We prefer his snake oil over your entire candidacy of... Oh my God, I just noticed. I never noticed. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Here comes the money.
No, brother. Brother, in the year of our Lord 2025, oh God. Aren't you like 100?
He will say and do anything to get elected. He wants to do free buses.
Oh my God, no, I can't unsee it. Oh God, fucking damn it. Oh Jesus Christ. Oh Lord. Oh Lord, he's got a little, oh my God, he's got a little, oh my God.
He could have done it at Assemblyman. He doesn't understand the power of government and how you must making sure you improve your economy, raise the standard of living.
That is absolutely everything he talked about when it comes to his policy. He just wants to raise the economy for working class people. And he does not give a flying fuck about raising the economy for people that already have millions upon millions of dollars and run large businesses. Okay? He wants to raise the economy for those who are currently drowning in it. Very good English you got today, very much. Okay? Jihad. He wants to jihad the working class people out of poverty. ZOHRAN Mamdani. The people's jihad. It is White Boy Jihad Month, okay?
And this is what we've done in the city.
Joining us now to discuss is Chicago-based journalist William Kelly, Fox News political analyst and author of The Day My Brother Was Murdered, Gianno Caldwell, and the Free Press staff writer Olivia.
Eric Adams doesn't believe in free buses, only free planes. Doesn't that guy cheat on, doesn't that guy have sex with women on airports so that he can't get caught that he has sex with women on airports? Doesn't he have 700 contracts with 500 different airplane companies? Doesn't he pretty much live off of his miles card? Crazy.
Olivia Reingold. It's great to have you all.
No, those are earrings, absolutely.
William, I'll go ahead and start.
Either dedicate yourself fully, not that fucking stud shit. I am aesthetic shaming. If you have a stud and you're masculine looking, if you're going for a masculine look and you have a stud, I don't like you. Stay away from me, please. That is, no, that is unacceptable. I'm going reactionary Balkan for a second here, okay? If you're going for a masculine aesthetic, if everything else is giving mask, and you have on one ear, oh my God, 2 ears, oh my God, no, that's where I'm drawing. No, I'm drawing the line there. No, I am drawing the line there. That looks fucking, oh Lord.
Start with you.
I'm crossing the street. I'm walking on the other one, okay? Hoops are fine. Then you're, being alternative, being crazy. Whoa, enjoy it, okay? Enjoy it. But just the
when you listen to what Mamdani has to say and what he stands for, it's difficult to believe that he could potentially be the mayor of New York City, but it's not so.
Yes. In our country, only people that stand for nothing and do nothing are given positions in the executive body of the country. This man wants to actually change things in the city. How disgusting. How utopian. To think that a leader of a city would do things for the city. Please call secret police. Have him assassinate. Yes, very cool. This is the type of conversations they would play in very bad Hollywood movies depicting Eastern Europe. There is a progressive candidate running against the authoritarian leader of the Kremlin. But the Kremlin is utilizing its state propaganda tools in order to make sure he never gets close to the government position. That is why 5 CIA agents from Washington are being deployed in the middle of Moscow in order to ensure both his physical safety and his rise to power. Will Russia finally see democracy through by enlisting a open-minded bisexual woman as the new president of the Russian Federation, or will Russia continue to crumble? Join us in the cinemas in exactly 2 months, right? And then they would have stuff like this play. While in New York City, a city that brands itself as arguably one of the most progressive places on planet Earth, most democratic places on planet Earth, we don't get to experience stuff like this. Wow. You can finally go into the Balkans tomorrow. I hope I see you on the street. Okay, you see these eyes on the street. Buy me a beer. Okay. Technically, Mamdani is actually doing jihad by running for mayor. Yeah. Ironically, yes, that is what capitalists want. My dad is in his 50s and he got multiple ear piercings. Without them, he looks too much like Swenson. Multiple ear piercings is fine. I am talking about just that one stud. Like, just that one stud. Oh, Lord. Multiple, do your crazy rocker guy thing. Oh, I'm goth thing. Like, I love that. That's fine. That's lovely. If you're doing your thing, but the little stud, oh, God. Oh, yeah.
Difficult when you look at other blue cities that have similar people in charge, and
it's just giving like 2007 fuckboy. It's giving 2007 fuckboy. Do you want to be giving 2007 fuckboy?
were voted into power. I mean, basically with failing policies, as if those cities weren't enough example, we could see it here in New York. But Adams went on to discuss in that interview.
This is just like 1543, but it's New York.
How he would be able to affect change, Mamdani, not at the mayoral level, but actually at the state assembly level. If he wanted to do any of the things he's talking about, he should do it in the job that he currently has, that as mayor, you actually don't have the authority to do these things. And that's why he called him a...
Donald Trump, why is he running for president? He is already an incredibly successful multi-millionaire businessman. If he wants to change the country, he should utilize the market mechanisms at his disposal as a corporate leader and not rise to some sort of state position in which he will only be the manager of state assets, but not one that has true control over the finances of our country. That's as if they said the same thing, right? That's literally copy-paste the same thing. Well, you don't want gay people to be able to find each other? No, that is not what I said. Because no self-respecting gay man would just wear one right here. Especially not at that age, okay? Especially not at that age. One that looks like that? Oh, no. Maybe in 2005. Then it could even fly. Why am I going back to that earring conversation? God damn it. God fucking damn it. It looks like shit, and it's my personal opinion. And we're ending the conversation there. Welcome in, Empty Flight. Welcome in.
Snake oil charmer.
We're just getting warmed up. We're starting early today. We must consult the Elder Gay Council about this earring debate. They would agree with me 100, okay? 100. Sorry, yeah, let's get back to these fine human beings over here. Straight out of fucking a pirated version of Sims 1.
He's talking about, he should do it in the job that he currently has, that as mayor, you actually don't have the authority to do these things. And that's why he called him.
Oh, yes, he can start nationalized grocery stores, people's grocery stores in his current position. Yeah, he can do real rent freezes in his current position. Yes, absolutely.
A snake oil charmer.
All you need to do in order to see what a socialist mayor would do to his...
Holy shit, chat. That's crazy. That's crazy. We got the same one. It's the same one, chat. You just put completely unnecessary stuff on top of it. Why ain't he using it? I don't know. He keeps it in the background to tell people that he secretly has a podcast. Yeah, brother. You want an Emmy too? Is that an Emmy? No, I was talking about the more valuable thing in the background.
The city is look at social...
Don't worry, bro. Yours is bigger. Hey, you know how to make a boy blush, okay? Yeah.
Mayor Johnson in Chicago. He's...
You go with the mask off. Do not offend me like this, okay? I would never get this much Botox, like holy mother of Botox.
To a city is look at Socialist Mayor Johnson in Chicago. He's in the time that he's been mayor, we have $1 billion deficit, hundreds of millions of dollars going to migrants, to his political cronies, and even his policies, that he tries to implement, they just don't work. He wanted to put migrants in a tent city until my reporting showed that the land was a toxic waste dump.
The Z Squad? Oh my God. Are they saying that Vladimir Putin is supporting them? Zohran Mamdani, we will jihad on Kyiv. Bernie Sanders, I am once again calling on you to take back the Donetsk. AOC, we must denazify Ukraine tomorrow. Push Z straight from the heart of New York City. We shall take back the ancient homeland and reject the Zelenskiest of the dogs which are currently occupying it. We will literally lift New York City and we will drop it on top of Kiev and create a true next Russian Empire. Da. It shall be beautiful and international. It shall have Latino woman. It shall have Muslim man. It shall have Jew man, and of course Black Lady. Black Lady very important for future of Russian Empire. New York shall be used as a bomb on Kiev. The Z Squad is here to deliver, Comrade President. Oh Lord. Have mercy. The same way you should have mercy on me by not watching an ad that is going to play in 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So join the Z Squad and drop a bomb on your local advertising HQ for $6 a month for free through Prime or by gifting subs and elevating your fellow chatters from the simple category of simple chatter over into Child Soldier, also known as a subscriber. I hate doing these grift parts, but I gotta stimulate you guys to make that needle move somehow. So yes, that was the pitch. Drop bombs on the capital of cities of advertising and join the True Z Squad. Gilles Tavarishi. The Kremlin has said we need to do this. Da.
So I mean, there's literally socialism, communism.
Wait.
School of KGB or death.
It sounds great in a classroom or in a textbook, but when you actually have a mayor who's implementing it, Mayor Johnson, for example, now he says he wants to raise taxes with a grocery tax. You would think that a socialist would understand that a grocery tax is going to hurt the poor, not the rich.
Giano.
But they would get cheaper grocery. They would get cheaper grocery.
Child soldier, subscriber.
Charapi, thank you very much for your first gift sub. Welcome, my friend.
Let's talk about public safety.
Yes, cheaper and more accessible groceries will hurt the poor because there's going to be a grocery tax. Which I'm not even sure if you talked about a grocery tax being given to working class people.
Wonderful, a new child soldier. Subscriber.
Quote unquote, the rich are going to pay for this. What's up, James? How you doing? James from the internet. Very nice to see you in chat. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for moving my needle, if you know what I mean. Thank you for launching my rocket. Thank you for putting fuel in the... Okay, I'm stopping.
Something near and dear, of course, to your heart and your family, and you have your book out this week.
Everybody go give James from the internet a nice little follow.
That I think is so important. It's heart-wrenching. Public safety is essential. It's the lifeblood of any successful city. We see what has happened in a place like Chicago under Brandon Johnson. And then you just look at the public statements of Mr. Mamdani. This man despises the police. He calls them wicked, racist, anti-queer, a threat to public safety. These are things he's put out publicly. I'm not having to exaggerate at all. We see what has happened in a place like Chicago under Brandon Johnson. And then you just look at the public statements of Mr. Mamdani. This man despises the police. He calls them wicked, racist, anti-queer, a threat to public safety. These are things he's put out publicly. I'm not having to exaggerate at all. I can understand why...
Editing in 4K live, baby.
Some people who didn't vote for this guy might be queasy about the safety of the city if he's in charge.
Mamdani sounds like an idiot, number one.
That's very stupid. I do not like him because I have very large forehead. It means very smart man because forehead very big.
Two, we've seen this show before. We've seen this program.
Absolutely. It was in Soviet Union. They have many bread lines. It was disgusting. Do you want people's grocery store? This is what people's grocery store look like. Look, bread lines. People wait for free food. There will be very big lines in front of the people's grocery stores. And it will be very bad. It is better to live in America where you have no people's grocery stores and no free health care. Because you go bankrupt, but at least you not wait in line. Why no line? Because nobody can afford shit. So nobody, nobody in supermarket, nobody in hospital. They all die on bed from hunger or from sepsis infection. Yes, very good.
Funding the police. They did it after George Floyd. And you know what? Many cities crumbled under that defunding of the police proposals that became policy in many of these cities. And what they do, they hit their...
Which all of this is very funny because the only thing he is suggesting is utilizing the police force as a tool of serving the community fully and moving some of that money that is usually going towards cops not dealing with violent offenses but just being cunts and fascistoid fucking thumbs running around in the streets, and pushing that money into different social systems that can help people stay out of crime. Okay, he is not defunding the police. He is funding practical and working proven workable policies that lower crime instead of just shooting criminals in the head, which, by the way, police in the United States doesn't even have a good track record on, okay? These motherfuckers don't arrest jack shit. They just pester tourists and minorities. And that's their whole fucking shtick.
Refund the police, and they had to fund them to the point that they were previously, and in some cases give them even more funding because we need our police. And in a city like New York, which I sit in right now, where you have migrants actually attack police officers and then they get out right after 24 hours, 48 hours, whatever, because we have a district attorney by the name of Alvin Bragg here who refuses to do his job fairly. This makes no sense whatsoever. If New York City chooses this individual, which it means they may likely actually elect him as mayor, then the city is in a world of hurt because taxes are going to go up, not just for the rich. You keep in mind, a lot of the people who were very wealthy, they moved to Florida.
Right.
They moved elsewhere. So you don't really
good riddance. Fuck them.
have that much tax base to actually...
No, you do. You absolutely do.
...increase taxes.
Proof. Please prove. You do. You absolutely do.
And if you do, they're going to leave as well.
Okay, goodbye.
So these are...
If they leave their apartments. They leave the places that have insanely high rents. They leave places and sell apartments that are incredibly expensive. They lower the largest chunk of New York real estate, which makes all the other prices go up like crazy. We start seeing Manhattan empty out more and more and more, which directly leads to lower rent prices, both in Manhattan and outside of Manhattan, leading to lower apartment prices. We see restaurants readjusting to classic everyday people when it comes to in bars and clubs and so on, when it comes to their pricing, because they can no longer rely on extremely wealthy clients going there and overspending, and you have the doorman that doesn't allow regular everyday people to go in. The whole city quite literally balances out. One of the biggest problems of New York City in particular is because it has such a high concentration of the so-called capitalist creme de la crop, which disbalances the perception of most businesses, most landlords, most everything in New York on what is affordable and what is not affordable, because there's always going to be an insanely rich guy that comes in and buys your extremely overpriced product, service, or good. When those people are out of the fucking window and businesses have to actually focus on treating regular New Yorkers, then it's going to be better for the New Yorkers. So yes, absolutely good fucking riddance. Get the fuck out. We're going to squat in your apartments. We're going to shit on your bed. And we're going to, I don't know, resell your fucking fine art that you've already stolen from the people in the first place. The funniest thing to me about capitalism is that capitalists reflexively wail and cry about the evils of socialism or communism, but capitalism only works if you enforce the evil of the system. of the systemic violence of poverty. 100%. CC dealers rallying behind Eric Adams at the moment. They still pay property tax on their $10 million empty apartment that they won't sell even if they move to Florida. So fuck them. Yeah. And even if they do sell it and then it stays on the market because nobody is buying it, or it sells for a lot less than it sold before, it immediately readjusts the property evaluation of normal or smaller apartments in New York proper. Like there's no loss. There's no loss. Okay, so we won't have a lot of millionaires leave, so we won't be able to tax all those super rich people. Fucking great. Sure. The amount that we can tax them is going to lower, but the prices in the city on almost every fucking commodity will also lower because they're no longer present in the city to increase them by consuming said commodity, service, or apartment. It's win. Okay?
Idiot proposals, and it's really shocking to see that this had perhaps succeeded. So I agree with Mayor Adams, snakes oilsmen for sure.
Yeah. I'm so glad you brought up that point, Gianno, that so much revenue has left New York City already. The New York Post reports $14 billion in tax revenue has departed as a
Ciao. До свидания, товарищи. Пока-пока. Все хорошо.
result of people fleeing for greener pastures. And the demographics here have really changed post-COVID as well, which partially explains why you could see the rise of somebody like ZOHRAN Mamdani. Olivia, I want to ask you about this. Does New York City basically have to hit rock bottom in this?
I live in the Netherlands, and the apartment next to mine sat empty for almost 5 years because the VC fund who owns the block would rather eat the rent than pay for needed renovation. That's fucking hilarious. Happy. The free market, though, is working as intended, you know? The free market is extremely efficient. Meanwhile, the free market keeps a completely empty apartment next to you because it stimulates people to keep it empty instead of investing a little bit into renovating it so that the potential tenant can go into it. The free market and efficiency. Free market and efficiency is like a black guy being a member of the KKK.
This way and then be rebuilt up, because that's what some are saying. If he imposes a higher corporate tax rate, businesses will flee. There will be no revenue to pay for all of these things. The city basically will go bankrupt.
So this is something that billionaires and a lot of very successful business owners.
Yeah, let's hear the concerns of the billionaires and very successful business people. Okay, chat. Do we care, right?
I'm Hitler's top guy. What am
This
I
is this
gonna
lady.
do? Adolf Hitler chose me to lead the
This is
revolution.
this lady.
If Alexander the Great tells you you're his top guy,
You gotta be a top guy.
Tried to warn me while I was reporting for the Free Press. They told me that they might even consider shutting down, their businesses or relocating to places like Florida or Austin. And when I reported this story, I was absolutely flooded with comments of people saying, boo-hoo, poor billionaires. And I think what Zohran supporters are failing to recognize is that his agenda is very ambitious and at the very least very expensive. And so he is going to need a very robust tax base. He's going to need some of those billionaires to be willing to stay in the city of New York in order to afford this.
Yeah, his plan, as he said in the clip that we played, is to tax the
And that will happen. Eat my ass.
the rich. You need rich to tax. And if they're all fleeing away, you can't be like, okay, bye, we don't want you anyway. The entire already broken model of paying for things crumbles entirely. All right, William.
The reason you need to tax the rich in a capitalist market economy is because their presence and their wealth accumulation is disbalancing the economy for everyone else. So yes, if the rich leave, you won't have any rich to tax, but you won't need to because they're not disbalancing the economy by just being present there with so many millions that another 10,000 New Yorkers combined cannot compete with when it comes to rent, when it comes to mortgages, when it comes to the fucking price of beer in a goddamn fucking bar. Okay?
1 billionaire leaving, sure, is less fucking taxable income for the city, but it's also 10,000 people worth of everyday expenditure as competition to regular 10,000 New Yorkers in the open market for commodities and services inside of New York also leaving the fucking city, which will then lower prices for everyday regular New Yorkers. If they stay, they get taxed because that is the least they can pay for us, unironically, letting them breathe air. That is their tax. Their tax isn't because we're little welfare queens. Taxation of the super wealthy by the working class in capitalism is us accepting to let them live. Okay? This is not me saying it. This is how it is. Okay? But if they don't want that, they are very, very welcome to leave. And then the market will readjust to the lack of presence of billionaires in the city, which already inflate all fucking prices because they are there. Mashallah.
Democratic Socialist ZOHRAN
Let's look at these fucking troglodytes now.
Mamdani may now be in the draw.
Thank you. You're welcome, my friend. Riot tax. Yes! Riot tax. Beautifully put. Fucking love my job.
Tovarci Bananisci, udite il richiamo. Lenino Bananito guida il Soviet Fruttamo. Scarponi giganti, picciolo in testa. La lotta è marcia, la buccia protesta. Capitalism marcio, un fico svanito. Il cervello si...
Driver's seat to run America's biggest city.
Porco
Mamdani
Dio.
declared victory over former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo in the Blue City's Democratic mayoral primary yesterday. And some are viewing his win as a message to the wider Democratic Party.
It is message by jihadist socialists of the greater Middle Eastern area that we will fuck you up all around. The microphone is gone.
Which made...
Dobar dan. Now you got told, Hugo. What's up, brother? How you doing, brother? You look good today, brother. Oh, God, brother. Yeah, brother. Oh, brother. Brother. Yeah, brother.
Let me move my subscription glass. By the way, some of you guys don't notice that this is the sub glass. I like to drink from it sometime. Every time somebody subs, it fills up. There you go. Let me make it smaller. Oh, shit. God damn, that's a big glass. Smaller, smaller, smaller. For small kings. There we go. Half full or half empty. Depends on you, I guess. Okay.
They pushed them to go all in on far-left candidates. Hello, everyone. This is Outnumbered. I'm Emily Campagno here with my co-host, Harris Faulkner. And also joining us today, Molly Line, Fox News correspondent, Noah Tishby, Israel's first special envoy for...
Woo! Let's talk about the mayoral results of New York City. Here, a Israeli person. Yes, I dabbed because I needed to equalize the cringe of this whole fucking... Oh, Lord. Here to speak about the New York elections, we have an Israeli. Why? Because... I don't know. Why do we? Oh, God, yes, brother. I can't wait for an ex-rapper guy to destroy the state of Israel by becoming the mayor of New York City.
Combating anti-Semitism and best-selling author, and Lawrence Jones, co-host of Fox and Friends. Now, the 33-year-old state assemblyman held a commanding lead over the three-term ex-governor all night long. Cuomo conceded in Tuesday's primary after trailing by roughly 70,000 votes. The new
that he ate. Nom 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 nom. Nom 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 nom.
New York Post asking for a lifeline on today's cover, calling Mamdani's victory a, quote, political earthquake, not just for the city, but for the entire state of the Democratic Party. And this might be why. Here are just some of his plans for New York City.
What's up, Raider? Hope you're doing good. Borga bobo.
And our police force should not be assisting ICE.
Defund the NYPD and refund all of these different social services.
I will create a network of city-owned grocery stores. It's like a public option for produce. I'll freeze the rent.
That is anti-Semitic.
For millions of tenants, make buses fast and free, and deliver universal childcare. And before you ask, I'll pay for it by taxing the rich. The mayor will use their power to reject Donald Trump's fascism.
Mamdani.
So, what do you guys think? He's saying very scary things. It is time for all of you to agree with my retort. Welcome to Fox News, everyone. My favorite TV channel.
It was endorsed by key progressives like Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders and Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. AOC pushed for voters to choose his ultra-liberal policies. And now that her endorsement helped lock in his life...
Oh, wait, is he an evil socialist or is he an ultra-liberal? They can't decide which one is more scary sounding.
...nomination, it may signal a path for AOC with voters in 2028. Political commentator Chris Cillizza put it this way.
If I'm Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and who, as I mentioned, endorsed Mamdani, and I see this result, I am thinking this is terrific for me. It shows that there's energy in the liberal activist base of the party. It shows that the establishment is crumbling, right? All these politicians who are not AOC, other than Bernie Sanders, are in some way, shape, or form part of the establishment.
Correct.
Right? Josh Shapiro.
I would say at this point even AOC and Bernie to an extent, but you know, you could pull them out. I don't know.
Or Gretchen Whitmer or Gavin Newsom. All these people have spent years in elected office. If I'm looking at this, I am thinking this bodes very well for me. It suggests that mad as hell Democratic voters are not going to just default back to a Joe Biden-like figure in 2028.
Okay, yeah.
No, politics aside for the moment, to me, far more frightening and far more stark than his progressive policies and plans with no backup, his lack of experience, etc., is his blatant and right.
That was like he's bad.
That was automated. That was fully fucking automated. Lack of luxury space gay communism.
Anti-Semitism.
Yes, it's horrific, to be honest with you. And this is not just terrible for Israelis and for the Jewish community. This is...
Why? Because he's Muslim? Is that because he's Muslim? Is it? Why? 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 Tell me. Why? Let's hear.
terrible for Americans. Let me start with the first thing that to me is the most violent and the most vile, which is his whitewashing of what Intifada is about.
Why did the Intifada start? What are they resisting? It's just a word for resistance. What are they? What?
So he keeps saying that globalized Intifada means something else for different people. That is not true. I have lived through 2 Intifadas. And
yeah, sucks to be you. Go fuck yourself.
I know exactly what they mean. An Intifada means a violent uprising against the Jews.
No, against Israel. Nothing to do with religion. Go fuck yourself. Hope you get another one.
It means car bombing and bus bombing and ramming through people with cars. It means stabbing and shooting.
Yeah, it's super fucked up what they've been doing in Gaza for the last 2 years. Absolutely, dude. Jesus. So wait, the IDF also does Intifada, but against non-Muslims. Okay.
That's what that
non-Jews, sorry.
Means. And to globalize that means to take into America and into Western civilization what we have been through.
To take into America the fight against Israel? there's no Israel in America. So what are they going to do? What Israel are they going to fight? Are they going to openly stand against Zionists that say that anything that Israel does against international law is acceptable? Yeah, of course, that way. And that way, yes, that's what it'll do. And that is good. That is what I'm doing here. That is what all of us are doing here. That is good.
In the Middle East, that's number one. Let's take the other thing, right? He's talking about the Holy Land Five. In his rap song in 2017, he said, I'm in love with the Holy Land Five. So let's explain what the Holy Land Fives are. They are convicted criminals that have been convicted in 2008 for material support for Hamas. In 2001, the Holy Land Foundation was actually dismantled. In 2001, it was shut down. And in 2008, they were convicted. These 5 people were convicted for supporting Hamas. He is saying that he is in love with those people and asking you to look them up. So I say, absolutely look them up. That guy is so radical. He might be some sort of a Trojan horse, not just for Marxism, which is what he's actually saying, but for...
Well, wait, but Marxism is created by Jews in order to brainwash white people into betraying their way of life and interracially mixing and therefore destroying Western civilization and allowing the Jew to rise up. So how is he also like a traitor Jew loyalist through Marxism, but also an anti-Jew Intifada guy? I'm so confused. I mean, does he just hate everyone? This guy, crazy guy, dude, very bipolar. Don't think I can stand behind him anymore. Okay. Also, he's a Trojan horse. Be careful, New Yorkers. If they start building basements under hospitals, it might actually become... those basements might turn into Hamas tunnels, okay? Be very careful. He says he's going to open people's grocery stores. What tells you that there won't be Hamas operatives in there, okay? Planning to dismantle Israel from New York, somehow.
For jihadism, he is supporting the concept of this. He refuses to acknowledge Israel's right to exist as a Jewish state. He's very coy about this, right? So when he goes on national television, he goes, well, yes, Israel has the right to exist. But when asked on the debate stage, do you think Israel has the right to exist as a Jewish state, he refuses to answer. This is a terrible news, not just...
Yeah, because he doesn't believe in apartheid. Shove it up your butt, lady.
For Jews, for every single American and everybody who supports Western values. It's horrible.
And Lawrence, it's why it's so shocking for you and I that live here, too. This is an individual who refused to condemn the Holocaust twice.
Source?
And now, all of a sudden, he's the front runner for the Democratic Party here. What message?
Source, please? Quote, I have condemned the Holocaust every year. This is something that is very clear to me and every New Yorker, and is something that I've made clear mostly in public statements, which is where most New Yorkers are actually engaging with the politics. Mamdani said in an unreleased press conference. There you go. So he did. I just directly quoted him. So we're just lying now. Lying is so overpowered. He loves the Holocaust. He loves the goddamn Holocaust. God damn it, man. The guy loves the Holocaust and he's going to rule our country. I mean, our city, god damn it. Oh.
Does this send about the landscape currently?
Well, it shows that the Democratic Party hasn't learned a lesson from the prior election. It's not common sense. New York has to decide if they want to be an American city or they want to be a socialist city. Some of his policies.
We're just back to classic Red Scare at this point. Wait, let's share this moment, chat. We're just back to classic Red Scare. So we can remember it. There you go. We were all here on this fine day, 25th of June. It's very important to take photos. Remember the special moments. You know? Don't threaten New York City with a good time. Can't with this anymore.
Also, he wants a rent freeze. He wants city-run grocery stores. He wants to defund the police. Now, we tried that experiment.
Jesus Christ, stop making me erect. God damn it.
And we saw how that worked in New York City. He said if Netanyahu comes to New York City, he's going to have him arrested. Now, when Tom Homan was trying to work with the NYPD to arrest the criminals, he got up all in his face. He also wants free buses.
I can't even do bits. I'll let them talk. I'm done doing bits. If you want to follow or subscribe, do it. I'm done. I'm just gonna let this play out because this is just art, and I don't know, just gonna do things in the background.
A $30 minimum wage, $70 billion for housing. None of this is gonna work. It's gonna bring the city into even more debt, and people are gonna move to my great state of Texas and Florida. But again, the voters get to decide. Either you can have him, or you can get someone a little bit moderate in Adams or Sliwa, who's running as a Republican. But this right here, it may work for New York City, but not for the rest of the country.
And Harris, we can put up this on the wall here. We have this platform that Lawrence just articulated. And, you know, I always sort of credited New Yorkers. I thought we were a little bit smarter than that. When someone promises free buses and free everything, I mean, this is...
The third world city of Belgrade, Serbia has free buses. Just FYI. 100% free buses, 24/7.
This is an 8th grade president campaign. This is mayor, and somehow people are falling for this, again, under the veneer of a faux jihad. I mean, it is just frightening right now, but none of this makes sense either.
Yeah, I give him a lot more credit than that. I don't think it was an 8th grade campaign. I don't agree that people don't think those policies can work. You know why? Because Democrats aren't selling policy. He is. I think the greatest danger for Republicans right now in a city and state like New York, because it's turning more red and red and red. They got to jump in now.
Yeah, motherfucking ha! But the right type of red, lady. The right type of red.
Now, get in there, back their candidates. You saw Trump for governor. You saw him backing Jack Ciattarelli over in New Jersey. I mean, you've got to kind of, I know.
Romanian villages have free Wi-Fi. Absolutely. This guy obviously has a mortgage and a baby mama to take care of, and he is locked into the lie. The mortgages do be crazy.
No, that's the neighbor next door, but it's an opportunity for Republicans to really jump in the water here. What he's selling is policies, and they're horrible policies. And Noah gave us an example politically what this could look like, and personally as a Jewish American what it looks like. But for all of us, this is very communist. This is beyond socialism. Yeah. But look at who's at his side, AOC, who does nothing really for her district here in New York. But what they do together is they fund. They come up with dollars. They do, and when he says a city-run grocery store, he's talking about communism. He's talking about the government running things. How much better is the government feeding your family than you? I mean, we have food stamps and those types of programs that come with restrictions. He wants no IDs. Don't pay for your busing. It's already dangerous enough to get on public transportation in New York City without knowing who's going to be your neighbor. He doesn't want to vet anybody here. That's going to be a problem. But running as an independent in this country, we don't have a high percentage of winners in that category anywhere you look. So Cuomo, I don't know if he's going to do it. If he couldn't get through a primary against this guy, I don't think he can beat him. But Adams, as an independent, you got to pick a lane, buddy.
Molly, talk to us about what this represents, because to Harris's point, so this assemblyman, frankly, has.
I love how they got the Zionist hoe over there in the corner just to say like 3 talking points about how this is all terrifying because Israel scary man. He does not like Zionism, and then just let her sit there. She just came in and she just said like 10 sentences, and they let her go. A literal political prostitute. In 4K, and they say that sex workers are problematic.
zero experience of any type of value, right? He comes out, he has these platform policies without saying how to pay for them other than tax the rich. It feels very neophytic and sort of echo chamber insular, which is typical of those far left radicals. But the reality is he has amassed an incredible amount of followers and somehow it worked. So apparently experience...
Yeah, somehow it worked. People are fucking broke. He is giving policies that will help broke people. He is politically principled. People are pissed off about watching dead children every day on their fucking TVs and their phones and their computers, and he is openly not supportive of said foreign regime. He has policies that are actually innovative, new, and different, that have, to an extent, never been done specifically in the United States of America, and he's very charismatic and chill and not an ancient vampire man, so it's pretty easy to see why he won. But maybe you know, Fox News doesn't get it because, to the irony of all ironies, the only thing that conservatives know how to do is identity politics and hyper-focusing on pathetic aesthetic, ethnicity, race, scary words from the past. Well, this is someone who actually gets everything done. They're talking like Trump was an experienced politician before he decided to take the world hostage by becoming president. Yeah.
Zero.
No, back then that was a big compliment, you know. He's not establishment. Trump is not establishment. Trump is coming from the private sector. He knows what he's doing. It was a compliment that he had no political experience. Here, of course, it's not.
But social media influencer attractiveness is a 10 on the scale. What does this bode for campaigns moving forward?
Yeah, what does it bode for campaigns all across the country? Is this more evidence of the progressive side rising, of the left rising in the Democratic Party in these Democratic circles? And what...
Yeehaw!
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Will this mean for candidates and races, Democratic races all across the country, as people are promising in these various districts to see the liberals rise, to fight off the moderates, to hold primaries? We'll see how that ends up when we hit at these general elections. And as you mentioned, this is just the primary in New York City. One quick thing, when the opposing team is celebrating with glee about a win, you have to ask. So the Republican campaign committee, the National Republican Campaign Committee, said this:
Yeah, they're like. When the Republicans are happy that a socialist brown dude won the primary because they will not have to fight a rapist guy, that really shows where the principles of both the Republican Party and where the principles of the wider American masses really lie. They would rather... They believe that a sex pest who killed 700 million New Yorkers during COVID has a higher chance to win and is more liked by the average American than a sex pest mass murderer. That's where their ethical compass is at. Hope you understand what this says.
New face of the Democratic Party just dropped straight out of a socialist nightmare. If you engineered the modern Democratic Party in a lab, you'd get Zohran Mamdani, anti-Semitic, anti-police, anti-American. Every vulnerable House Democrat will own him, and every Democrat running in a primary will fear him. That's the NRCC spokesman, Mike Marinella.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and...
Jesus fucking Christ. These people have such sad lives. It's lovely. Let's listen to a true journalist now.
Have you ever noticed how so many people who are pretty clearly not on the left, regardless of what they and others will say about them, are so concerned with policing the left and what is good for the left and what is bad for the left? And they're always like, this guy is such a bad representative for the left and stuff like that. And they basically have...
And they're all fucking libs, or sometimes even conservatives. It's so fucking hilarious. It's so fucking hilarious.
Okay, for the left to really not be the left at all. You ever notice that? And these are the same people who will then go and like talk about a big talking point of these people is purity testing. Purity testing is when you hold people who claim to be on the left to actually having leftist beliefs. That's what that means. Why are you purity testing me? Well, because the positions that you hold, that you're espousing, that you're advocating for, they're right wing. That's why. You know, you're being purity tested out of the left because you're not.
Just 1 sec. Sorry, I don't share stream Bed and Panada because he's gonna come after me, burn my house down.
Be the left at all. You ever
got some potats? You guys want some potats? They're pretty decent. They're from this vegan place. Even the sauce is vegan. I don't know. I'm trying to be healthy or some shit. Counterbalance the drinking. I don't fucking know. It's the only thing I can eat under this fucking mask.
Ever notice that? And these are the same people who will then go and like talk about a big talking point of these people is purity testing. Purity testing is when you hold people who claim to be on the left to actually having leftist beliefs. That's what that means. Why are you purity testing me? Well, because the positions that you hold, that you're espousing, that you're advocating for, they're right wing. That's why. You know, you're being purity tested out of the left because you're not on the left. It's very curious because I certainly never say like anything like this is bad for the right. This is what the right wing should do. No, I expect that of them. That's what they are. I'm against them. I fight them. I couldn't give a single shit about them.
Exactly. That's why when I see a right winger that is doing something very stupid, I just let them do it. There's the whole point. Remember when we discovered white Rastafarian guy that sings about misogyny? Like, please never ban that guy. That shit's amazing. Everybody's going to associate him with the right wing, and then they're going to be like, I don't want to be cringe and right wing. It's 10 out of 10.
Those things. I couldn't give a single shit if they're inconsistent or whatever. But the people who like are so concerned about policing the left when they're even fucking on the left is such a...
Yo, Brielzebub, thank you for the prime. Welcome to the community, friend.
Great phenomenon because it really shows you that like being on the left is actually seen as desirable in such to some extent. Like people want to be perceived as what they are not, you know? Like in the same way that like a poor American temporarily embarrassed millionaire will like try to show off symbols of fake wealth to like play act at being wealthy. A centrist or a right-winger will pretend to be on the left because it's perceived as being cooler. It's perceived as
Skapon Kelf with the beautiful prime. Thank you, friend.
Being like more hip. It is, of course, also, and this is the worst part about it, the reason why we need to worry about it, a way for them to make the left worse. Because what if you're a fucking moron and you're interested in leftist politics and you see some guy who's very clearly a right-winger and he's like, oh, come on, man, this is bad for the left. Like, and you see...
Wait, what?
Because what if you're a fucking moron and you're interested in leftist politics?
Okay, Ben and Penada. Okay, why is he talking about me? Why is he talking about us, chat?
And you see some guy who's very clearly a right-winger and he's like, oh, come on, man, this is bad for the left. Like, Hassan Parker is bad for the left. He literally supports terrorism. And by terrorism, they mean like literally anyone who at all opposes Western imperialism. Someone who's an idiot could see that and be like, oh, I guess actually being leftist means being against fighting imperialism. And that's how you get Vosh. So it is actually dangerous. Even if it doesn't...
fucking eating. Not just me, this man. That guy is an idiot that listens to liberals about what it is to be a leftist. That's fucking peak shit.
Always come from a place of like intentional malice.
Peak shit.
Or like intentional scheming. it nonetheless results in that. I think a lot of it comes from people who are just so averse to admitting that they are not punk rock. They are not like challenging the system. They are not fighting the machine. They are not raging against it in any way, shape, or form. They are the machine. And that bothers them. They want to be seen as special, as different, as like radical and cool without actually being so. So they need to move the Overton window from what is actually left to the center and then call it left anyway. So they...
Beautiful point. Exactly. They do not want to admit to themselves that they are ideological cuckolds, that they are the mainstream, that they are the regulars of the regulars of the regulars. So they have to depict in their own mind and in front of everyone else, true quote-unquote socialists, as insane, unhinged radicals. So in order to cope with their own identity, they shift the Overton window both in their own head further to the right, but also in order to make sure that everybody, on the outside treats them as a leftist as well, the Overton window in their direct community around them. And that's why they post that type of fucking shit. Fucking globe heads.
They can feel like they are a part of this transgressional group when they're actually the exact opposite of that. They are the group that anyone who is actually at all remotely inconvenient to the system is against. And people do this all the time, like fucking like Ethan Klein and people like that do this all the time. Like, oh, this doesn't align with leftist values. What do you care if it aligns with leftist values or not? You're not on the left. Why would you even say that? You don't agree with leftist values. So what does it matter to you whether someone aligns with leftist values in your estimation or not? That's so weird. And the reason why they are so concerned with the left is because they see the left as a threat to themselves. The reason why I don't fucking tell you like, oh my God, this like right-winger, he claims to be like for traditional marriage, and yet he's an adulterer. I don't give a shit about that. Why would I care about that? Like if he was a hypocrite or not a hypocrite, his ideas are wrong because they're wrong. His ideas are bad because they hurt people. Even if what these people say about Hassan Piker was true, and it's like, Hassan Piker's only in it for the money. Hassan Piker just pretends to be a leftist for the money. Okay, so I guess he's more correct than you for selfish reasons. He has better politics than you for selfish reasons.
Dessert time. Do we want the green one? Do we want the orange one? Yellow for you colorblind. Or do we want the green one? Oh, sorry, there's two greens. So do we want lime? Do we want green? Or do we want orange? Orange? Yes, we want all three. Lime? 5 more seconds. Oh. Orange, orange, green, green, lime. Okay, orange wins. Dankeschön. Bro, that's poison. Real socialists use one vape between 4 people. No, real socialists use one Nick pouch between 5 people, okay? And they use it up their ass. One in each hole.
Reasons? Okay, he's better than you then. Way better than, in fact. Being correct for the wrong reasons is nonetheless better than just plain being wrong. It's always like, oh my God, these leftists have impure motivations and stuff like that. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if they have impure motivations, because ultimately, if the motivations are impure, it's still better than you. The fact of the matter is you can't refute the position, so you retreat to this emotional, idiotic, like background argument of, but why do you hold that position? I think you're holding that position for dishonest reasons.
And even if it's correct, okay, if you have a better motivation but you don't get anything done, at the end of the day, history only remembers material change. The people that got something done. You don't think that I would even argue most revolutionaries throughout the era, I'm not even just talking communists, talking most revolutionaries, that at least 50% of them didn't do it because they get to be like the popular guy, because they get to be a national hero that will be remembered for eons to come, that they didn't do it for glory. A lot of them did do it for that reason, but they also had a belief system, and they did it. They channeled that very human energy into something progressive and got something done. You can sit in your house and be fucking morally clairvoyant as much as you want, but what the fuck does that get done?
Whenever anyone like complains about purity testing, what they're complaining about is the fact that they want to have like the sort of social standing that comes with applying this left label to themselves without actually believing in anything that is at all in line with it, without actually advocating for anything that is at all in line with it. That's the reason why they police like the left so much. Like it's absolutely insane. You see this so much, like, oh my God, how could the left do this, man? Man, I support leftist ideas, but I just hate leftists. No, you don't. No, you don't. I mean, I support leftist ideas, but I disagree with like literally basically every single actually leftist person in the world. No, I mean, you don't support that shit. You're on the left. You just don't support it. Why can't you just admit that you're a boring, status quo supporting centrist moron? You are a boring, bog standard Westerner who supports things because you think they benefit you and opposes things because you think they
but still want to carry the badge of being a quote-unquote progressive, being a quote-unquote socialist, being a quote-unquote radical because right now it's cool. You're exclusively doing it for the coolness effect because it's trendy in your age group. The second you're like 35 plus, you're going to stop doing it because it's no longer going to be trendy in your friend group. And then when you're 55, you're going to do the next thing, you know? You're going to be like, those goddamn kids don't understand nothing. Right? That's it. You're just jumping on trend bandwagons without really standing for anything or sitting for anything. Thank you, Lunk, for the 2 months. Very kind of you, my friend. Thank you very much.
Don't benefit you. That's your ideology, and that means that you support generic status quo centrist liberalism at most. But you really don't want to be perceived as just being that level of boring, of like vanilla ice cream. Basically,
I've only moved further left with time, yeah, because you actually are a leftist. That's the point of my allegory. These guys aren't. They're doing what the current trend is in their age group. Once they age out of the trend, they will do what the current trend is in the next age group. And always, the older you are, the bigger the trend is to be like, those goddamn kids, they don't understand nothing. You gotta be conservative back in my day, etc., etc. The irony there is that you will not really be a true conservative. You will just be LARPing it. But with reactionary ideology, just LARPing it is enough to bring it about. While with socialist progress, you need action. A reactionary can bring about mass slaughter by just sitting on the sides and allowing slaughter to happen. A socialist has to participate in order to bring about a more just society.
Scoop of vanilla ice cream, cone, boring ass fucking cone, no chocolate on it, no nothing, no sprinkles, no syrup. That's you. And it fucking hurts you, doesn't it? It hurts you to admit that. So you have to do this shit where you police the left and you whinge about purity testing and about how, you know, basically the left is like ruining itself by not.
You do fake purity testing and then you complain about purity testing. Which is not even purity testing. You're just a bunch of dudes that tell you, bro, like, you don't even get the most basic of concepts. Would you like to learn? And they're like, no!
Not completely changing everything about what it's...
I want to call myself whatever the fuck I want to call myself.
...stands for, to include people who are not on the left and who just support the status quo. What a joke.
Click like on his fantastic video as always. Let's see if he has some new interesting stuff. was old at this point. Bet Empanada, King of Kings.
Have you ever noticed how so many people who
Joe Rogan and Bernie Sanders. This is gonna be fun. Pinning video. Today's such a cozy stream. Except like an hour ago when I was screaming, but yeah, now I'm fed and I'm happy. I'm no longer hangry.
Yeah, I still have no idea.
Today I encountered my first Hassan hater IRL, and I was so flabbergasted that I didn't even argue at all. Good for you. Don't waste your time on fucking trogs.
Yeah, how he did that. I guess I just have coins in my ear. Oh, hey.
Oh, hey, man. Oh, I look fucked up, man.
Hi, welcome back to the show. This is the news. This is a real serious news channel. The hell is... What the hell is this right here? Ooh, person of the day. Person of the day. Do we have a graphic for that? Okay, we don't. Okay. Guys, I'm really sorry. We're just...
Right. Breaking down what he would do to the supermarket.
Oh, we already watched this fucking legend. Ooh, yeah, brother.
It's in New York. And tell me if you recognize this. Other countries that have tried this and if it's worked or not.
In the Soviet Union.
Morty but aged is about to come in, okay? Those of you who weren't in chat yesterday, the next guy that's going to talk, he sounds like Morty from Rick and Morty but aged, okay? Just don't look at his face, close your eyes, and listen. And it's aged Rick. It's aged Morty, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Rob.
I will create a network of city-owned grocery stores.
Okay.
Now, first they're playing the clip. Wait.
Okay, so city-owned grocery stores. Okay.
Okay, so, Tom, economically, does that make any sense to you?
Man.
Right.
No, and what's happening over with ZOHRAN, and by the way, you know, he is so easy. The unfortunate thing about his last name is it quickly becomes Madman. Madman.
Oh,
so we have this
slam dunk by Tom. That's right, person of the day, the New York City mayor. The new, what is it? So I have to say new twice? I'm not doing that. The new New York City mayor, ZOHRAN. But I like this PBD clip. This is before Cuomo conceded the thing. They're like, he wants to do this with grocery stores. Man, we're economics guys. How are we economics guys? Oh, we did a multi-level marketing scam.
Oh shit, Toasty in here with the links. Pretty much. She's a Tectone fan and thinks Tectone is innocent. Also smeared Hassan. It's a she and a Tectone fan. A she and a Tectone fan. That's insane. That is actually crazy. A she Tectone fan? Also smeared Hassan with multiple things she couldn't back up. A woman backing up a sexual predator make it make sense. Holy fuck. A she Tectone fan. Fucking run. Holy fuck.
So
hide your kids.
I think we got this one wrapped up, Rob.
Hey, what's up, Mr. Hangover again? And drink some water. Eat some fucking oranges, man.
Tom, has this ever worked before? This has been tried before. In countries, it's failed. Yeah, if these morons knew anything about anything, which they don't, except how to do scams, they would know that this already exists. This exists in places where there's food deserts and all this kind of crap, and it works. Okay, great. Congratulations to ZOHRAN. Will he be able to do any of this stuff? Well, you know, unlike these little perverts who go like this. You know, they pick a guy they like and they're like, this guy's different, he's not going to start wars. And they're like, oh, he did start wars, so we still like him. We're going to wait and see if any of this stuff actually happens with ZOHRAN, but congratulations to him. Goddamn you to hell.
There's a bunch of people.
I'm stealing that.
People who are behind it. And so New Yorkers have to decide what they want. And by the way, the reason Cuomo looks so good
to me,
it's like if you ever watch the Miss USA and they bring out the women in alphabetical order. Okay. And for 31 seconds, Miss Afghanistan is the most beautiful woman on the stage because she's the only woman on the stage. And that's what happened to Cuomo.
Okay. Okay. That's a very layered one there. Tom is, of course, the very bonked on the head individual BHI. He's a senior, a bonked in the head senior, a BHS. That part kind of threw me off. What does Tom have against beautiful Afghani women? Women in Afghanistan aren't that beautiful.
The goddamn Afghani women fucking ugly.
How many Afghani women have you met, sir? None, because the ugly, I only talk to beautiful women. Was that kind of racist? He was trying not to make it racist, but he made it racist because he picked fucking Afghani women.
Okay. All right, Tom. If you say so, man.
New York, you're about to have potentially a democratic, socialist, progressive, jihadist mayor.
Yeehaw, brothers.
Got it,
This is a far
True American, if I ever heard one. Let's fucking go.
throw.
But I'm going to tell you guys, these two are not in the same league.
Not at all.
They're
Absolutely
not in
not.
the same league. Andrew Cuomo knows how to govern.
Yeah. The only thing that Andrew Cuomo ever did is sexually accost women. The other one is a normal guy, okay? I fucking hate normal guys.
Yeah, and he's being a mayor.
Okay.
He had a massive, catastrophic mistake. Don't make any,
Right.
you know,
Please
ifs
let us
and
know.
bones. He made a massive, massive mistake.
Paul Bet
But they're not in
Davidson?
the same league.
Oh, man, shockingly. PBD was wrong on this one. PBD full name.
Paul Bet Davidson?
Paul Bet Davidstone. Oh, you got this one wrong? It's really shocking that he got...
Shout, we also lost money, by the way. We lost all the money yesterday. All of it. All of the money. Minus $130, chat. But hey, we reached yesterday's sub goal, so it was like, we gotta do it. He appeared. Coming AC in public before July. Yeah. You know why we fucked up? Because we didn't read the fucking instructions. I would have never bet on this. I thought what they meant is photographed or videotaped. I thought what they meant is out and about. Like out in a street somewhere. But no, they literally meant if he appears in a video of any sort that has been recorded during the period of June 30th to June 19th, which of course would happen. I was just having too much fun with you cunts and I didn't check it out properly. I didn't read it properly. And we just lost all our money. I would have never bet on this if I had read it properly. I didn't think that it counted if he just appears on a fucking video or speaks to it or addresses his people in a video. Which obviously that would happen. So yeah. Was bad mistake. I've never do again. Until next time. We still have some money to waste, okay? Still got some cash to waste. Hopefully become billionaires from this, da? Skill issue. It was a skill issue. I agree completely, Gabriel. Completely our fault. But then again, skill issue, we were like 600 people in here. How did nobody manage to tell me that this is if he appears in a video? Which, of course, he would appear in a video. All of chat is drunk.
There was a group of people who over...
Oh, this is from 5 months ago. I just got here. Blame the rest of chat. So yes, minus money. That's why you should subscribe so you have more money to gamble. Okay? I mean, invest in outcomes. Okay? Subscribe for Yugo to be able to invest in outcomes more.
Got this one wrong because you're not going to believe this. People living in a place where there's like a cost of everything crisis. They said, hey, we'll go.
We're still on a big plus because we won on Mamdani. But still.
With the guy who's at least saying he's going to try to fix that.
And vapes and vodka. Straight into my
Instead of a criminal. Instead of another criminal who, you know, a real estate super PAC paid like $8 bazillion to run ads every 2 seconds. Which one do I go with? Oh, they're saying he's brown, so he's scary. Oh, okay. Oh, they booted that criminal's ass out of there? Oh, my God. But did they not know that the other guy didn't say he would go on vacation to Israel? Did they not hear that?
Oh, shocking.
Okay, but surely the commenters are on PBD's side. Let's check this bullcrap out. Top comment here. We're going to subsidize food for starving people. PBD, how does this make economic sense?
Boom, boom, boom.
LMAO, this hurts PBD. His hate for Muslims is crazy. These comments are fine. PBD is cooked. Whoa, hey! You don't talk about my newsman like that. Propaganda much. Damn, this is the most obvious propaganda episode yet. Whoa! And on and on and on. Good, great job for the great
Paul Bet Davidson. Paul Bet Davidson. Paul Bet Davidson.
Okay. Okay, there's no way my view time doesn't go way down for that one. My views out here like...
Bye-bye. All right, so it's been almost 5 years since Joe Rogan moved to Austin, Texas. And if you listen to what he has to say about it, he makes it seem like Austin is the greatest place ever. But quite a few of his friends that have moved there have a completely different opinion. And the most recent has been Brendan Schaub, who just moved there, and he's really regretting it, which I covered over on Patreon if you're interested. But that's what made me think of this video idea, because he's not the only one who heard Rogan constantly talk about how amazing it is and how they need to move there. And then they went there and realized Austin kind of sucks. Like Shane Gillis, he moved there.
All right, before we get into the main
adult baby
content where
generally speaking Chinese people look Chinese.
Before we get into the main thing, I found this video. How many? Whoa, 370,000 views in 13 hours. Not bad. This guy's name is Too Lazy to Try. He makes fun of like podcasts and stuff. And this one came up for me, man. 371,000 views. Good for you, man. Hey, good, great for you, man. How many subs? 357K. Okay. I'm out here sweating, struggling. Can't break 80,000. But I watched this whole video. It's like 20 minutes long, and it's all these Joe Rogan guys. They're like, Joe Rogan told me to come to Austin. Place sucks. Joe Rogan convinced me to come to Austin because he gave me a little boosterino on the old podcasteroonie.
I heard that Cuomo was going to be on Ethan's podcast. Jesus Christ, the guy is on a speed run of ruining his career forever. That would be the best thing. That would be the absolute best thing. I hope he does that. That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Okay. He gave me a little on the
adult baby.
Told me to come out. Your place is a dump, you know? And this is kind of true. The complaint about Austin is like, it's just not worth it to pay like big city prices for this kind of like little stupid city. But that's not these guys' complaint, that there's just not a lot going on here and it's overpriced. Their complaint, I'm not lying about this. All these Roganverse guys, their complaint is that there's homeless people here. So they're gonna move back to LA, I guess. Because there's too many homeless people here.
Austin's amazing. I fucking love it here.
Austin's cool.
Right?
The area around there, I don't like.
It's a little sketchy.
A lot of homeless.
Yeah. Well, it's not well regulated. And these knuckleheads decided.
Well, I just saw this.
Now the polls are open in the New York City mayoral primary. Socialist candidate Zohran Mandami, he proposes to open grocery stores.
This is before he won. Major supermarket CEO threatens to close grocery chain over socialist scheme.
Owned and operated by the government. Here with me now is John Katsamatidis. He is the owner of a very well-known grocery chain. It's called Gristedes. And John, I want to know what you think a government-run grocery store would look like.
Well, it didn't work in Moscow.
Oh, brother. Oh, my God. Yes. Well, it absolutely didn't work. Should I do the classic? Compare calorie intake of Soviet citizens of the era with American citizens. Let's see who mangiano better.
And when I growing up, I learned one thing: don't fight City Hall. So if City Hall is running the grocery stores, let them run it. You know, don't arrest anybody, give it away for free, and let the people eat.
You're not going to close down Gristedes.
Oh, well, I'm not going to fight City Hall.
But you're not going to close it down.
Well, you never know.
That's your come on. That's
You
your
never
chain.
know.
I mean, it's a threat, but you're not going to do it.
Let me say.
Holy shit, he's proving that socialists can absolutely annihilate capitalist enterprise by creating alternative people-owned enterprises. And they would immediately either be so scared to run away or they would be forced into bankruptcy because socialized projects are going to fuck them up the arse.
Tell you something. The toughest business, we have a lot of companies. We have 7, 8, 10 companies. And if my son is taking over, and guess what?
This writes itself. It fucking writes itself, bro. Thank you, Gabriel. We're struggling today. Why do they only bring on sweaty piles of redundant protoplasm on these reactoid news channels? Because they're all redundant protoplasms, bro. Food deserts? Never heard of it.
The toughest company we have is retail food. So, do I want my son to suffer?
But you... Oh my God, that's right itself. Do I want my son, who is going to inherit a whole business with a profit motive that in the long term makes accessibility to food by regular New Yorkers more problematic, to suffer? Art!
You want him to inherit the grocery store chain that
No,
you
they
bought.
let him inherit the oil company.
So he's not going to inherit the grocery store chains because he's afraid he will not be able to compete with the People's Groceries, and this is somehow an argument against how successful the People's Groceries are. A capitalist that owns a whole chain coming on Fox News and saying that if the People's Grocery Store is open, my son, who will inherit the grocery store, does not want to operate it because he does not think he's going to be able to compete, is somehow proof that the People's Grocery Stores are not going to work. Help me out here, chat. What am I missing? How is this not an argument for the People's Grocery Stores? Yes, please, all of you go bankrupt, please. We do not need you, okay? We will nationalize the spaces in which you operate your grocery stores and open more socialized grocery stores. Fucking phenomenal. We will outcompete you so fucking hard in that very market that you masturbate to every day that we will eventually prove to you that the socialized model is superior. Because the clients will show that it is superior.
Company who's doing very well. Let him inherit. Our real estate company is doing very well, and let him inherit. Our investment company is doing very well. But
okay, look,
I did it. 54 years. I did it. My time is up.
Right.
Holy shit! Holy shit! I love this so much.
Mamdani, he's a socialist.
Yes, I hope you guys understand what we're watching right now. We're watching a very large capitalist come on Fox News and say that because a socialist won in the city, his Nepo baby son will not be able to continue making money just because he inherited the company. Only in the great nation of America can this be shown by Fox News and even re-uploaded to YouTube as some sort of W. Is Nepo baby good? Is Nepo son good? Is Nepo baby fail son super fucking based? And we must defend the Nepo baby billionaire son from crazy evil socialist brown guy? It's incredible. It's like art imitates fiction, but fiction imitates art. Art imitates reality, but sometimes reality imitates art.
Wins. What does that do to New York? Because he's going to tax corporations. He's going to free bus rides, for heaven's sake.
It's going to hurt New York.
For heaven's
I would
sake.
say a lot of the capitalists, a lot of the business people say, I don't want to fight City Hall. So, Florida, here I come.
Okay. Now you're in a variety.
Craig, get the fuck out. Never come back. Hell, we're gonna build a wall around New York so you can never come back, even for your fucking vacation visits, and we're gonna nationalize your fucking houses.
To businesses, including the oil.
We'll even give you a free bus ride out. Woo-hoo!
Oil business.
Yes.
You got it right yesterday. You suggested that the price of oil was going to drop big time. You can't close the Strait of
Admitting that capitalists can't fight this. Incredible stuff. Incredible stuff.
Hormuz, and we got this ceasefire. Okay, we're at $65 a barrel now for oil. good news as far as the consumer's concerned. How low is it going to go?
I think the variable will be anywhere between 55 and 65, probably a 60, 61. I said yesterday that if we work well with the Canadian government, which they want to work with us, I met with the Minister of Energy last week
Somebody that talks to the Minister of Energy of Canada and who owns multiple businesses and is a billionaire, they brought on national TV to tell us why ZOHRAN winning in New York is actually really bad. I wish this was I wish this was a Key and Peele sketch. I wish this was a Key and Peele sketch. I really do. I really fucking do, bruv. I really fucking do. But it's not. This is the reality. Boom, there goes gravity. Knees weak, arms are heavy. Mom spaghetti. Only tough people lasts. I'm glitching, sorry. The Yugo Android is glitching.
Of Ontario. And guess what? We're a powerhouse. North America is a powerhouse. We got more energy than the rest of the world put together. And
joining me now for his first,
putting together more pipelines from Canada, from Alaska, and developing our own resources. Let America win again.
Good for the economy. Good for
absolutely
the consumer.
Great. Good for the economy. I predict, by the end of the year, you're going to have that Dow Jones average closer to 50 because everything is going our way.
Excuse me, 50,000.
Joining me now for his first national interview since yesterday's election in New York City is Zohran Mamdani. It's great to see you. I don't know if you've slept, and I'm sure you are still processing what happened last night. A lot of people.
Look at that beautiful smile. I'm amazed they trot out the least likable, stinking rich greaseball instead of the usual small businessman. Yesterday we watched the small businessman, etc., etc. And if I was doing their agit propaganda, I would also only do small businessmen. But America is so fucking cooked in their lack of class consciousness that you can pull out a billionaire guy to tell you why it's actually really bad that you will have affordable groceries and free bus rides. And the average statistical American will watch that and will fucking eat it up like it's a joke. God fucking damn it. What a cooked nation, what a cooked people. And undercooked, one would say.
Team stayed up and watched your speech. I just laid out how I think you garnered as much support as you did. As you've processed this,
I, for one, welcome our communist Islamist overlords.
what did I miss?
I think you covered quite a bit of how we got to this point, and I think the only thing I would really add is this volunteer team that we've built of now more than 50,000 people, they are the New Yorkers for whom democracy had started to lose meaning. It started to lose its relevance to the struggles of everyday New Yorkers. And they are the ones who for so long had not seen themselves in our local politics. And yet they are also the ones who brought us to this point, who knocked on more than 1.5 million doors across the 5 boroughs and showcased that a vision for a New York City, currently the most expensive city in the United States, a vision that would make it affordable, is one that speaks not only to progressives, but speaks to New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs, from Harlem to Bay Ridge, and speaks to the very fact that ultimately what city government's job is to make this city that much easier to live in and actually achieve the very dreams that brought you here in the first place.
As I'm sure you know, you probably haven't consumed all of it, I suppose, but there's been a lot of analysis, a ton, on what your success last night and in the last couple of weeks means nationally for the Democratic.
Miami real estate agents after the New York City elections. Oh, absolutely. But also working class people after the New York City elections if Mamdani wins. Oh, I love this song so much. I love this movie so much. Push it to the limit.
Party. Unquestionably, it means something about how people campaign, but what do you think it means?
There you go. She's immediately trying to build rhetoric around the fact that he won because he campaigned really, really, really well, and not the core message that he was trying to push across or the specific policy that he was trying to enact and introduce to people, nor the fact that he was extremely principled in absolutely every single thing that he stands for.
I think it is part of a larger referendum on where our party goes. And
there you go. Bravo. Beautifully answered, you beautiful son of a bitch.
I think one of the hopes that we had from the very beginning of this campaign was to move our political instinct from lecturing to listening. You know, at the national level, after the presidential election, we saw that New York was actually the state with the largest swing in the country towards Donald Trump, 11.5 points, and that swing took place far from the caricature of Trump voters, instead taking place in the hearts of immigrant New York City. And I went to those neighborhoods. I went to Fordham Road in the Bronx and Hillside Avenue in Queens, and I asked those New Yorkers, the vast majority of whom were Democrats, why they voted for Trump and what it would take to bring them back to the Democratic Party. And again, what I heard from them was cost of living, was an inability to afford the very things they recalled being able to purchase 4 years ago. And when they told me what it would take, they said again and again, a relentless focus on an economic agenda. And ultimately...
Exactly, because the economy defines absolutely fucking everything. Material motherfucking conditions. And he addressed it as a proper democratic socialist should, and he ended up winning. It's not goddamn fucking rocket science. But as we said earlier, that is impossible for establishment Democrats to do because they serve completely different interests than that of their electoral body or of that of working class people. They serve the interests of those who pay them their salaries, and their salaries are paid by super PACs and individual billionaires, whose ideals of the future of America are in constant contrast to that of the electoral body of the Democratic Party or any other party around the world. That is why he managed to do some praxis and avoid said problem by being fully funded by supporters, by everyday Joes like you or me, by chat. Everybody subscribed to his campaign, and he ended up winning.
Ultimately, in listening to them, we built a campaign that was explicitly about making this city affordable. And I think too often in politics, there's a desire to impose what you think the debate is.
New York City's chat. Absolutely, friend. That's beautiful.
Upon the people that you're seeking to represent, as opposed to listening to the very issues that are making it difficult for...
Mr. Muslim, why are you even here? I think it has a lot to do with I need to live. My supporters need to live, and neither party supports Americans staying alive. Beautifully put, Chatter.
For them to keep calling the city that they love the city that they live in.
I mean, you're running on issues that are very relevant to people in New York City. The cost of housing, free busing. Some have projected, that this is the type of platform that would work in other parts of the country. I mean, you're a proud democratic socialist. Do you think that is a platform that would work for other candidates running in other parts of the country?
Of course it will. ZOHRAN Mamdani, New York City, Shakira lo terrorismus. Shakira. Thank you for the bits, my friend.
Absolutely. I think ultimately this is a campaign about inequality. And you don't have to live in the most expensive city in the country to have experienced that inequality because it's a national issue. And what Americans coast to coast are looking for are people who will fight for them, not just believe in the things that resonate with their lives, but actually fight and deliver on those very things. And part of how we got to this point was through the endorsements of Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Senator Bernie Sanders, who've been leading this fight against oligarchy across the country. And I think that in focusing on working people and their struggles, we also return back to what makes so many of us proud to be Democrats in the first place.
Let's talk a little bit about the path forward here, because you still have to win a general election, and that is going to be hard fought, which I know you know. You're on track to defeat Andrew Cuomo. He called you to concede. Afterwards...
I watched or ingested Yugo via Hassan for so long. Can't believe it took me so long to pop in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Very nice to have you here.
A couple of times he seems...
The token rises is an adequate name.
Seems to have floated this potential plan or consideration of running as an independent. Are you preparing for him to run as an independent in the general election, or do you think it's possible he could drop out entirely before next Tuesday?
I think that everything is possible in this race, as we've seen.
Yeah, especially with a democratic socialist that is actually legitimately trying to make things better for New York working class people running. Every single super PAC is going to ingest so much fucking pedo money in every single opposing candidate, including potentially Cuomo, just so that they can dilute as much of his voting body all around the independents in order for the Republicans to potentially win. So yes, I'm pretty sure Cuomo might reappear just to get the cash. He will not win, just to get the cash. And as a means to, again, dilute the voting body as much as possible from ZOHRAN by so-called Democrats in order to allow the Republicans to potentially make the city red, which would be pretty difficult. But, you know, billionaires have a lot of fucking money, and they are looking at potentially losing a very decent chunk of that money if ZOHRAN ends up winning. So they're going to throw a lot at this. They're going to throw a lot at this. So look forward to that, or don't look forward to it, if you know what I mean.
For many, many months, and ultimately we are prepared for taking on whomever our opponents may be in November. Because when I started this race, I started it running against Eric Adams' second term, running to finally have a city government that sought to resolve the affordability crisis, not exacerbate it. And when Eric Adams dropped out of the Democratic primary, it was Andrew Cuomo that picked up the mantle of that second term. The same donors, the same corruption, the same small vision funded by big money. And we have now defeated that vision in this primary, and I'm prepared to defeat that vision in the general, no matter who it is that's carrying it.
If Andrew Cuomo drops out, he had a lot of big money backers. Do you think they're going to big money back Eric Adams?
What I just said, yeah, of course they will.
Is that what you're preparing for?
I think that it's possible. I also think that we have found exactly the way to defeat organized money, which is organized people. We're speaking about a scale of a campaign that we haven't seen in the city in a long time. And ultimately, we believe in a politics of no translation, one that is both direct to the struggles of working people's lives and also delivered directly. And there is nothing more direct than a New Yorker knocking on another New Yorker's door. And that has been such a key part of this campaign's ability to break through more than $30 million.
New Yorker walking into another New Yorker's door.
In opposition spending, where New Yorkers were blanketed with attack ads, whether it be when they were turning on their television, their radio, opening their mailbox, or even just watching YouTube, and we were still able to triumph over that.
Both Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer, obviously two Democratic leaders that have had some, I guess, nice things to say, I could describe them as, about you, but didn't endorse you and still haven't endorsed you almost 24 hours after Andrew Cuomo called you to concede. Why do you think that is?
Well, I appreciated both of their remarks, both their acknowledging of the focus of this campaign on affordability, and also with Senator Schumer having worked with him closely to deliver close to $500 million in debt relief for thousands of working class taxi drivers, as well as successfully defeat a proposal to build a frack gas power plant in my district of Astoria in western Queens. And I think what we are seeing in this moment is an understanding of the mandate that New Yorkers have given us to deliver on this affordability, and also the fact that we will wait a few more days to see the actual final results of this, although we know that we have won this race even without the assistance of ranked choice voting.
Do you, I don't think endorsements win elections necessarily, but there's not a lot of proof of that in history.
Do you think that the results we'll see in New York will be prevalent enough in the national conversation if ZOHRAN becomes mayor to stand out against the countless smear campaigns we'll see across the neolib spectrum and pull people to the left? Yes, 100%, especially if he does a decent job. I've been saying this from before he was elected and especially right after he was elected to lead the Democratic Party in the coming election. I'm not going to talk about whether this is going to change the mind of establishment Democrats, because it's fucking not going to, because the material conditions are not there. Their employers are not working American people. Their employers are lobbyists. But when it comes to the general fight against Red Scare propaganda, against every single leftist political figure in the United States, if ZOHRAN wins and manages to properly and well manage New York for his 4 to 5 years, and that would truly be a storm of ideological debunking in the minds of thousands, if not millions, of Americans when it comes to what they associate with a socialist political project. If New York
ends up blooming into a flower during his what do you call it, his tenure, a lot of damage will be done to the negative perception of socialism equals doesn't work, because they will see it black and white. There will be smear campaigns. Everybody's going to try and undermine it, blah, blah, blah. But it's going to be black and white. And that's going to break through the Red Scare propaganda really, really well. And hopefully start associating socialism in people's minds with something that is not only good on paper, but good in practice. So yes, even as a quote-unquote more radical Marxist blah, blah, blah nerd shit, this potential electoral victory could be really decent. It could also, on the other hand, be co-opted by the Democratic Party if ZOHRAN is not properly, held at bay by both his electorate and general hyper-progressive members of his future cabinet. It can be co-opted by the Democratic Party into pretty much moving more people in it that are dissuaded with the current status quo. The reason I believe this particular gentleman will not become treasonous to his principles is because his principles have elected him, okay? It's because he comes not only from he doesn't only not come from the establishment, he is the opposite of the establishment. And those are the two ethical grounds, like just practical ethical grounds. And the more important, just practical perspective, is because the motherfucker sees this works. His thing is, I'm not a sellout. That's his main selling point. So even if he wants to an extent, he cannot sell out, because that would ruin him politically. Fetterman never again. Fetterman is a very different animal in it, that person is not a human. That person is an actual animal, I believe. Like just like a lobotomized piece of code that simply reacts to information.
But do you want their support, or do you not care if they come out and forcibly endorse you?
Speaking of endorsement, I'm not even going to do it. Whatever the fuck. Ad pitch, blah, blah. I'm not even gonna.
I want their support, and I want the support of any leader across this city and this state and this country, because ultimately what we are looking to show New Yorkers is the fact that this is an ever-expanding coalition. It's not one that is trying to keep tabs of when people join this fight. It's one that's looking to actually deliver on this fight. And what that means is ensuring we use every single tool at our disposal to freeze the rent, to make buses fast and free, and to deliver universal childcare.
Fucking legend.
Zohran Mamdani on track to the dead.
Zorane. Wait, is there a song? Oh my god. Pesma. Mršu pičku materinu, bre. Oh my god, ima Pukni Zoro, but it's not. Look at this Zoran. People are shit. Is this song? Oh! Oh my god. Let's see. 1990, let's see. Wait for it. Wait for it, she's gonna say Zoran.
Pitaš li bar nekog za mene? Svaka suza na tebe me seća, svaka suza jača je od mene. Ti si bio nekad moja sreća, sad si samo deo uspomene.
Zorane. Again. Wait.
Zorane. Oh, we found a new anthem for Zoran. Yeah, baby! Zorane, my only love. That's literally the text. Oh, goddamn, brother. We got a new anthem in here, baby. Zorane. Here, spread it around. It's the new Zoran anthem, baby. Oh, spread it around your Discord service. She's literally, I can't get over you easily. You're always next to me. Often I cry for you. I remember the old memories. Every tear reminds me of you. You used to be every piece of my happiness, but now you're only a part, a piece, a single piece of my memory. Jihadi socialist Zoran unites with Yugoslav patriotic socialists to overtake New York City, led by Lepa Lukic, who, by the way, is an absolute fucking legend. Udri Batko. Hell yeah, brothers! This is so good. This is so good. I can't believe we found this, chat, in 4K. Oh god, there has to be more songs that. Oh, Divni Kesten Zoran is Zoran. There's more. There's more. I told you guys it was a popular fucking name in the ex-Yugoslavia area. This one is more like haha. No. It's kind of a bump. Let's see. Zorane. Zorane. I love you. It's literally, hey, Zoran, come over here. I love you. Oh. So second anthem for Zoran. It's only popular from us. It's a completely secular name. They just sang his name. Please, somebody get this to Zoran. I swear to God. Tebe Volim sounds like I'm voting for you. It's like I love you. This is gonna be the national anthem of the chairman of the People's Independent Republic of New York after it separates by Zoran himself. Let's go, Sleebler with the 2 gifties. Zoran is Zoran. Zorane. Ajde, Zorki.
Look! Literally Hamas! Literally Hamas! Okay? Because of the... Oh, come on, you get my joke. They got the representation of the socialists and the more traditionalists. Oh, this doesn't get better. Oh, anyways, yeah, a lot of Zohran songs, which shows that ZOHRAN is actually a plant by OG Yugoslavia. First, it was intended for him to be a plant in Zimbabwe, in Uganda. Sorry, Jesus Christ, I'm stupid. In Uganda, but then he moved. After we recognized that we don't need a plant in Uganda, and we got one in another country called New York.
Zohran.
But yeah, fucking legendary. That was beautiful, chat. Holy fuck, I love the planet. It's all places are just one place. I hope you guys understand that. Like, all places are just one place. You're not unhappy because you're not living in the right country. You're just unhappy. You just take your unhappiness to the next place, I guess. It's the community that will make you happy. Which now, through digital means, can be anything. Like our beautiful chat that is just nerding out over particular Yugoslav songs that have the word Zohran in them.
Mandani.
This is a video by Eric that I'm proud of myself. We to an extent discovered. He still needs more subscribers, so let's watch his new video about exactly that. Why conservatives are freaking the fuki out. They're freaking the fuki out. Look, he's got a little chain. I love dudes with little chains. See, cute little chain and nothing here. Nothing here. 10 out of 10. Any day. Okay? 10 out of 10. Zoran dancing Kolo to Zoran songs when? Oh my god, yes. There's probably a lot of Balkan dudes in what do you call it? There's probably a lot of Balkan dudes and ladies, of course, and NBs in good old New York. He can get them, but probably all of them voted for him because they were like, ha, Zoran, Zoran. I'll tell my grandma back home that we got a Zoran elected as mayor. Grandma's gonna flip out. Zoran is the mayor of New York City. A guy named Zoran. Yeah, one of our guys, grandma, no problem. Very close friend of mine. New York City. I love you, Juro. New York City. Okay, let's watch our friend here. You got leg pinned. Please go and subscribe. Only 13,000 subscriptions. Come on, he deserves more.
Donnie, I think that's how I say his name.
I'm saying go subscribe to him, not to me. And that is a failed goal for today. Doesn't mean we won't have a good time and hang out.
I don't know. I've never heard his name spoken.
How you've never heard this guy? You are the biggest conservative commentator in the world, and you've never heard the future mayor of New York City's name spoken? It's a big day for...
Yeah, why are you surprised? They lament over their ignorance, okay? It's a badge of honor. It's a badge of honor. Twitch this is not my connection, by the way. This is just Twitch fucking Elling. This is Twitch Elling so hard. Oh my god, I'm gonna L so hard on Twitch. I'm gonna L so hard in a Twitch way. Oh god. Do not L, Hugo. Do not L in a Twitch way, Hugo. No, I'm gonna L so hard in a Twitch way. Then we're back.
For white boys like myself who say inshallah, or I guess now we should probably be saying mashallah. Zohran Mamdani,
mashallah.
Just won the Democratic primary.
Okay, I can say it. I probably have like 10% Turk in me, okay? It's perfectly allowable.
Election for mayor of New York City, and conservatives and neoliberals alike are freaking out. I've supported Zohran since the beginning of his campaign, and thanks to a previous video I made about him that did okay over here on YouTube, I was able to work with the campaign to make some of the most recent videos that they...
No fucking way. Are you serious? That's fucking legendary, bro. What the fuck? Am I jealous or am I fucking jealous? Look at this G over here. This absolute fucking unit over here. Yeah!
Put out, and I can confirm that beyond all the crazy smear campaigns and fear-mongering sponsored by billionaires through 30-second advertisements, Zohran Kwame Mamdani is the real deal. On and off camera. He's awesome. He's
Juro, what the fuck did you find? Srpski Talibani gori New York. Oh my god, I forgot this song. Holy shit. Oh, I forgot this song, man. My youth calls for me, dude. The song he sent me is called Serbian Taliban, and it's about how New York is on fire. No, we have other Zohran songs, okay?
a cool-ass dude with me by billionaires through 30-second advertisements. Zohran Kwame Mamdani is the real deal. On and off camera, he's awesome. He's a cool-ass dude with great vibes and, frankly, unlimited stamina. One of the videos I worked on him with was the one where we walked tip to tip. I only did a third of that, but that guy actually genuinely walked the entire length of Manhattan on a very hot day, too. It was extremely hot. But if you were to listen to the likes of Charlie Kirk and co., you'd probably have a much different opinion of New York City's next mayor. So let's try to get some insight into what your grandparents are hearing about him.
It looks like Zohran is the favorite to become the mayor of New York, and he is as bad as it gets. He wants to,
as bad as it gets,
to globalize the Intifada.
He's got a normal face. He's got a normal smile. Women like him.
Charlie, what? You don't even know what that means. What does it mean? Charlie... He wants to globalize the Intifada. He wants to do a jihad. You are going to have to go to Mecca and kiss that big black box that I don't know the name of. All he does is just say words that aren't native English words and say, well, you don't know what this means, so it's gotta be scary.
He wants to sanction Israel. He's a
Hell yeah.
legitimate anti-Semite, anti-Western. He wants to have city grocery.
Hugo, we miss how we're collecting Kwamas in the socialist sphere. We had Nkrumah Ture and now Mamdani. True. True.
The average American does not sympathize with Israel anymore. You're gone, bud. You're standing in the past.
City-run groceries. He wants to freeze the rent, build affordable housing, creating city-owned grocery store.
My God, stop it, Charlie. I'm getting fucking aroused over here, brother.